You know what? If there was any question how white we were, now people will have no doubt how white we are.
Okay, let me give you the.
This will be on the channel, and the people will be like, "Look at these white people. These are white. 600,000 views. Look at these white people.
They have bunny ears. They have bunny ears.
I figured
this is messed up. Look at these white people." And then all the comments are going to be white people. SMH. That's what it's
yeah. One time. Well, I have a prize for someone who can name that tune and tell me what year it came out. You have to tell me both. Caller number 6. And I will be giving the phone number right now.
All right, I'm so
850-764-1552. 850-764-1552.
I gotta go, man. I gotta go win this prize.
You win Adventures in Babysitting. Let's see who calls in.
All right. So what is the what is the question here?
Okay, you have to name that tune and the year it came out.
All right.
Waiting for caller number 6.
White people.
I can't even hear the tune. What tune is it?
The tune that was played in the intro.
It was
Jump Crisscross, make you jump.
Lone Eagle. Hey, Lone Eagle, what's up, dude?
Lone Eagle. Lone Eagle.
There he is.
Lone Eagle actually on the line right now?
He is. He's here.
Wow.
No, he's here in the chat.
Wow.
Can you hear me?
In the chat. We can hear you.
We hear
you.
All right, beautiful.
Introduce me, people.
Mr. Lone Eagle, how you doing, Bob? This is Troy, man. How you doing, Bob?
Hey.
I'm doing awesome. Nice to talk to you. Good evening.
It is an honor, sir.
Just to let you know who's here. That's Harold is here.
Yes.
And of course it's Brian's channel. And you have Seeger and Teresa, and of course Troy, and
I am here,
Tyler.
Present.
Awesome.
And accounted for.
And accounted for, man. Hey, by the way, Lone, did you ever turn that sound volume down 4 watts?
Listen, I just finished listening to that right now, like minutes ago. I was like, I'm getting amped for this, so I'm ready to do that.
I'm gonna blow them out.
Hey, man, I don't mind being owned, man. I love being pranked. I'm the best person to have jokes played on, and I'm a good sport like that. So good job on you.
Right on, man. Yeah, cool. Well, I'm glad you're a good sport about that, man, because we're gonna have a lot of fun here.
You know what I was just thinking? Lone Eagle would be perfect countermeasure to Troy Gowdy, right? Troy Gowdy be like, no, Mrs. Clinton, no, Mrs. Clinton, you are wrong, Mrs. Clinton, no, and Lone Eagle would be like, look, this is what we have. What we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. Let me bring up Google Maps. Let me just spin this around here. Look. Henry, you're lying.
Why you're wrong.
You're lying. I know you're lying. That would be,
I could prove
it.
I wouldn't need to do something. I wouldn't need to do something like that because they do a brilliant job exposing themselves. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Hey, look, by the way, you've had a great series, man. You've had a great going so far with your series, man. I've been watching it. I want to say religiously. I don't mean to clone, or coin a certain, praise has already been done so, but. Man, you are awesome, and the things that you've done so far are, right up my alley. I dig that. I love the way it actually leads into something that I'm big into, which is like the history, which I know you play a big part into too. So, I'm a huge fan, and I definitely appreciate everything that you've been doing. I know that you have this series going on with more on the way. I'm glad that you decided to do that, man.
That is to say, Lone Eagle, that is to say that you have several fans here. Troy is a very big fan of yours. I like your stuff too. Also, another person coming on, Meegs, watched your channel. I hate to use that word religiously, right? Again, just watch you hour after hour after hour.
Right.
He loves your stuff. So you got a lot of diehard fans here.
Well, very kind, and I'm very flattered. Thank you very much. I work just from the heart. It's all from the heart. I don't make anything up. I might be wrong in some of the things I put out just because I'm curious like everybody else. And it's just like everybody else, we don't know everything in the world. That's why I bounce these videos off people. But when it comes to the Earth, I'm pretty much on point because I really know the things that I'm studying. Like I started off with Utah because I know it inside out, but then I just go around the world. There's one point where I could spin the globe and all you can see was the Pacific Ocean. You couldn't see any land, but now you can't do that anymore. And this tells me maybe the world shrunk, but I could go on because it all comes from experience. So that's why I find it easy to flow. Maybe that's why people catch on easier because that's part of it. Just being honest and just showing what you're seeing.
You guys should really see, this is for our audience too, Lone Eagle's ability to manipulate 3D Google Maps. He can manipulate a Google map that would take us 20 minutes to get down to a certain point. He's like, here
that's only when he gets the new mouse. The old mouse,
the new mouse.
I was looking at it going, oh, how did he do that? Did you see that?
The old mouse would just not work.
Yeah, it's all in the mouse. It's the mouse. Like I have a Razer mouse, Razer keyboard. I used to use them for gaming, but the click down on the mouse wheel, when you click down on it, that does a huge feature. And a lot of people have to use a keyboard for that. But yeah, manipulating the controls is very important. And like I said, I've been on Google Earth since almost day one, man. I've been doing this stuff for a long time.
Yeah, real good. And very easy to understand, too. Very easy to understand.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
It's not 30 minutes. A lot of people that do what he does. So let me show you that. Oh, wait. Where are we again? Milky Way? Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay. Is there oh, wait, where am I? South Korea? No. I want to be in Mississippi. Oh, wait. No, you're right there, and it really makes the flow a lot easier to understand.
You know what?
You're right on point. We enjoy that.
That's great feedback. Thank you.
And you know what, Lauren, I was gonna say, man. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. You're big. You're quite fond of the Arizona area as well. I actually grew up there. I think I mentioned that to you before. But one thing that really gets me is that you know a lot about a lot of the territory. It seems like you've traveled quite a bit. What allowed you to do that, man?
I've only traveled to Arizona once, and it was there for 10 days. But there's something about my life that I want to share with everybody. Is that I live every day and every moment to its full extent. And when I go traveling, like even when I planned the trip, I was already there in my mind, and I was already there every single second. I took the train from Ottawa to Colorado, then got on the RV, then drove through the mountains to Arizona, stayed there 10 days. But every single second, I was breathing it in, I was watching and absorbing. When you do this, and when you're on Google Earth, like the way I was, and am to this day, you don't forget these experiences. You cannot forget them. They're embedded, they're inside of you in your memory, and they're part of you because you are part of that. You are part of that rock, the tree, everything around you. So it's very easy for me to churn on Google Earth every single day. I just finished telling Troy on Google Hangouts that I have so many Mandelas. If I made a video for every Mandela I came out with, it would be insane. I don't have that capacity to do that. I'm just like taking my time with this stuff. The Arizona thing, I'm infatuated with it. It was Tombstone. I shared my experience with how I almost became an atheist because of that movie, and I've been drawn to Tombstone. That place has been Mandelaed. The monsoons that did not happen there before are now happening, and now you're seeing a lot of green in Arizona, which it used to be a lot of desert. But
desert, right?
But like you said, it's my experience is just I breathe every moment in, and I just pay attention to every single thing that I'm doing every day. Eating my supper, my supper right now. I'm like separating the rice from my potatoes, but I'm paying attention. I'm like, wow, I wonder how these would cook. They're delicious. You know what I mean? I was talking to the lady there. I was talking to the lady who served me the food, and we had a great convo. And I was wondering how she was doing, as I was eating my meal. You got to just expand on life and appreciate every single moment you're alive, and then you will see more doors open. I guarantee you, you'll see this.
So, in your mind's eye, I know that you're much more than the continental anomalies going on. You've done quite a bit of things with the tech before its time and things like that too.
Yeah.
One of the things
that's how we found out about you in the beginning. By the way, Brian and I came across one of your videos in the tech before its time. brought us to your geographical changes. But I don't want to interrupt, Troy. Go ahead.
Oh no! Well, I got a kick out of it, and that's one thing I really. That's the reason why I became really fond of you, man. Is that you took something so rattling and alarming, and actually kind of in times like this, when you have that churning in your stomach and that beating, in your heart that's just so rapid. And then, you see something so outrageous that you burst into laughter. It makes it just relieves that pressure. And I can tell you, I've enjoyed that. It's in a public scenario where, I've got many people around me. You go laughing and I'm right there with you, man. I'm bursting in laughter along with you because it's so outrageous and I don't recall exactly what you're portraying. One thing that really caught my attention too, and I'm sure you can probably recall this, was when you were showing it was the tech before its time, but it was the old West days where they were showing the picture where they used to draw them, and it was he opens the scroll with the wanted sign, and instead of it being drawn out, it was a picture, and you paused it, man. I almost pissed myself. It was so funny. It was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time, man.
That was good. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole part. Like, I find these moments funny because, well, at the moment they are funny. Like, there's just too many things that don't match up that make my brain laugh, and it's just like exactly what you said. You just broke down because of its simplicity of it. People who see the simplicity just laugh. You were in joy at that moment. You did not take that and go, "Oh my God, I'm going to turn that into a fear." You yourself started laughing, just the way I started laughing in joy, because that's what we're supposed to do. Not laugh at everything, but enjoy, and it's exactly what you got out of that, and you enjoyed it.
Well, we do. Yeah. We unlike a lot of the channels, we spend a lot of time laughing about things and poking fun at things. We really do, because we believe that levity and a sense of humor is the best way to deal with this stuff, because we all go through our own things. But you're looking at like Seeker, Teresa, Brian, Harold. They are very well adjusted, very, very well adjusted people, and they help a lot of other people. Harold goes out and talks to anybody that he can, try to explain what he can to alleviate the stress of people that just don't understand. They don't have the clarity. They just don't have it. Teresa is known as the residual queen. She finds residual all the time.
I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she does it, honestly.
She's real good.
I don't either.
Good. And
some people have that gift like Fiverr.
And,
like Fiverr, exactly. Yep.
We try to get together, and we try to share what we can and help anybody any way that we can.
And for all of you watching this, Teresa, this is Teresa's first time in Hangouts with us.
Yes,
and she looks amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Teresa, you want to say hi?
Teresa, are you there?
She fell off.
Say hi.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm here. I just don't know if you can see or hear me. Sorry, guys.
I can see you.
Yeah, we can see you. We can hear you.
We got you.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey.
Bonjour.
Hey, everyone.
And
I'm the residue hunter.
Lone Eagle. We have been trying to get you. We've been thinking of getting you on the show for what, Brian? A month and a half?
Oh gosh, it's been months. Yeah, like at least a month and a half.
Really, at least 22 years.
Yeah. We've been trying that's how long
I finally got a new phone, so I'm actually not in the ether no more. I'm literally live.
Right.
Yep.
So, everybody in your audience, I know they want to know what I look like.
We can see your eye really well.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, the one
Teresa,
thing,
you look great.
Yeah, you look great, Teresa. The one thing I want to ask you, Lone Eagle.
Oh, thank you. I'm 54, guys. Hey, I'm 54.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the Mandela.
Last time I looked, I was 35. I don't know. Anyway, Lone Eagle, what happened? What happened to that neighborhood that you said didn't exist but exists?
Oh well, it's still there.
It's still there. It hasn't changed or.
So, the interesting thing about that is, like, I do a food. I work for a food delivery service, and popping in.
Oh,
is that me? It's
Meegs. Oh my God, I gotta meet her.
I'm at the fabulous box.
Meegs, look at.
Hi, Meegs.
Wait, where are you,
Lone
Meegs?
Eagle's here.
Wait, where are you, Meegs?
Lone Eagle's
Hey,
here.
Lone, I think you actually truly have your biggest fan in the entire world right here.
Right, the Meegs.
Awesome.
Megan is her
Sorry,
biggest fan.
I can't really hear you guys, but I'm at the Sound of Music, and I just wanted to love bomb y'all.
Thank you, Meegs.
I have to
Thanks,
get back behind
Meegs.
the curtain, you know, pretty soon.
Is that Meegs?
Because I'm the star of the
Yes, it is.
Yeah, she's at the Sound of Music.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I've never seen the Sound of Music. I have no idea what it is.
Neither.
It's a musical.
I'm playing Maria
She's
tonight,
not
so I have to go.
Meegs?
I have to
Oh,
go.
okay.
Go.
Oh,
Yo, Meegs. Meegs, you see Teresa? You see Teresa?
Can you see me?
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Teresa?
This is me.
And guess who's here?
Guess who's here?
Guess who's here?
Guess
I'm
who's
not
here?
in the ether no more.
You're brave.
Meegs.
Brave.
I'm live. Look.
Lone Eagle's here.
Oh,
Lone
what's
Eagle's
up,
here.
Lone Eagle?
Good day. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Enjoy the sound of music.
I love it, man.
Chicken.
Well said. Well said. Enjoy the sound of music.
I'm gonna get off, but I'll try to get back on in a couple hours, maybe.
Okay.
We'll be
All right, hon.
Wow. You'll be at the tail end. There might be darkness.
Come
But
on back, Meegs.
Come on back, Meegs.
Meegs, come back.
No.
all right. So to continue on with the question here,
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Harold,
Yeah.
you asked the question to Lone.
She'll be back.
I'd like
She'll be back.
Oh,
I'd like to hear the end of that.
Or is it she'll be back. She'll
So
be
that
back.
neighborhood that I was talking about,
Yeah.
I work for a food delivery service where I drive food to people, and then I drive by there all the time now, and I'll just pop in. It's still the same. It's a very desolate place. I'd say about 2/3 of the units are empty, and
Wow.
I guess, and they have here's the thing, there's a school there. It's called Queen Elizabeth School. It just shut down.
Yeah.
Like, just shut down. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's very weird. Like, the windows are all boarded up. Like, when I went there with the video, not that day there was no kids, but the next day I went back, or the day before I was there, and there was kids everywhere playing in that school. Now it looks like a ghost town. Now I'm going to go back and film it. Like, the windows are all boarded up. They did show.
Oh my God.
It is noted that they are closing it down.
That's a very good catch.
Yeah, but
That's crazy.
Wow.
Good catch.
it's weird. It's very
So
weird.
now-
but it's still there. It's still there.
So I have one more question to ask you about that. Now, you said that you used to go there all the time, and it did not exist.
Yeah.
But
What?
when you checked it, you said that it had been created in the 1960s.
Yeah, between the 40s and 60s, because this is a base. This is a war base. When you
Right.
go around there's signs everywhere showing military, and it's very
Right.
obvious. Yeah.
But you said
That's
that the
dumb.
bus stops don't even look alike. They don't even look the same.
Yeah, and they have those bus stops I've just never seen in the city before, and I've been in the city since 1982. As a little boy, and I've been. Those were when I went there, I was like, wow, they have concrete bases. I've never seen that, and they were very small. And I was like, I've never seen that style. So exactly,
Huh.
I hate when that happens.
So
many things stood out there.
now here's a question:
Mhm.
What's going to happen if you go back again and it's not there?
Well, if I go
Are you
back,
going to have a heart attack?
No, I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I don't do that, man. Nothing. That type of stuff doesn't happen with me, because like if I every time I go there, before I turn, I'm like, it might not be there. And if I turn, I'll be like, well, I've always got my camera with me, and I'm gonna sit there and be like, look, guys, watch this, and then I'm gonna point. I'm gonna be I'm not gonna be like all joyful, but I'm gonna be shocked. But I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to die. The world's coming to an end. I'm just going to be like, well, it wasn't here before. Now it was here. Now it's not here again. And it would happen right before my eyes, and nothing happened to me.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
And you recorded it. That's the point.
Well, here's the huge thing.
I want to ask you about your tech before it's time, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I wanted to know about your tech before its time. How did you happen upon such vintage clips and somehow fashion together how did you go right away for the tech before its time? I mean, you were pointing out everything we were seeing immediately. We're right in sync, Brian and I, and who was it? Tom? Brian?
Yeah, I think it.
Yeah, you were showing me, Ty.
And Tom saw it too.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we were going.
What did we discover? What did we discover? That the facsimile.
The gentleman who created the fax machine. He created the fax machine before Tesla, before Edison.
Yes.
And that was back in 1843, isn't that right?
Before electricity.
Yeah.
Before electricity. How did he do it before electricity? What was he transcribing on? What were they, mice running in a circle? What was going on? There was generate what? Because there was no electricity.
Very easy, Ty. It was steam powered. It was steam powered.
Like the tanks.
But you understand? How did that guy conceive of a fax machine before Tesla, before Edison?
Never heard about the steam powered fax machine? Come on, man.
Right.
They also had.
Of course, steam power. What was I thinking?
Video.
Of course. Right. Welcome to
video
the
phones.
Media. Of course, it was steam power.
Yeah.
It was steam power. And you know who it was? You know who did it? What's wrong with you, Ty?
What?
You know it was Steve Jobs. It was Apple. Apple did it in 1843.
Yeah.
It was Apple.
I thought you were going to say Grover. I thought you were going to say Grover from Sesame Street.
No. Oh my goodness. Wait. Time out. Troy, you just said Sesame Street, and I have something written here that says sesamoid bones that I was going to be talking about. I'm dead certain. Look, I have it circled. Look. Great. Sesamoid bones. You see that?
It's great.
We now have sesamoid bones inside your muscles and ligaments.
And notice,
congratulations.
You did notice that he just flashed us all the passwords, all the encryption keys.
I saw that. I got it all now. Now I'm putting it in as we speak.
We didn't see it.
Typing it in.
Right. Typing it in now, sure.
Yeah.
Where did my Bitcoin go? It's gone. What happened? I don't understand.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I actually ran out of space here.
I could hear him saying "Open Sesame."
Open Sesame. Is that the key word here to breaking the code?
So
yeah, that's the key.
Lone Eagle, I have a question for you. Ed, have you noticed any of the anatomy changes? And which ones stand out for you?
Well, I put a series together like probably 6 months ago, and I haven't looked at the body since. But there's still lots changing. I do, Nobleness is coming out with a video soon on some changes that he was sharing with me, and and I'm not going to say what they are, but they're pretty cool. Now, here's the thing with the body changes is that every single one I've seen, I've been to a benefit, and the ones that I haven't seen a really good explanation for are just still up in the air. We don't totally understand them yet, like the holes, like what's all of the extra holes with the nerves coming out? What is the benefit of that still? We're just still not done manifesting what we're supposed to be into. But it's just like everything else in this world. We've seen the whole East Coast of America shift right underneath our nose, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah, Delaware is now an island.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing. The thing is that we're all still here. You know what I mean? Right. And we didn't even notice it. We didn't even know that happened. We had to have somebody show it to us. Same thing happening with
the same thing happens with the people that are actually in Australia. They don't know that Australia changed. They just know the differences.
This goes for every single person on the world and every single city, country, village, town. It doesn't matter the continent. This happens to everybody. They just don't know it yet. You know, these same people are like, oh, this isn't a Mandela. There's no such thing. They're still saying you could dance if you want to. You know what I mean? They're still saying these old lines that are Mandela, but they don't even know it. So eventually everybody's going to wake up, but they're not going to know it. So there's no harm in all this stuff. There's no sense of being shocked oh my God.
I think what you just,
you know
I think what you just hit on there is what's known as the Mr. Smith paradox. Like you said, you can dance if you want to from the safety dance. Is that what you're referring to?
You could dance if you want to, because now it's like you can dance if you want to, right? So like they're still saying the old song, but they're saying no such thing, but they're still saying old stuff.
Exactly. That's the problem. That's the problem. That when you confront them, they become what we call victims of the Mr. Smith paradox.
It's a problem for us because we want them to accept it. Here's how we deal with that. We stop confronting people about Mandela. We stop saying, hey, look at this changed. We stop saying that to people who are asleep. Let them wake up, because they're going to wake up regardless. What's going to end up happening if you keep on trying to talk to people who are asleep is you're going to look a little, you're going to be added to this category that we don't want to be added to. They will wake up.
Yeah, right.
I've already had people that I've tried to convince in my life. 2 people now, very close to me. I've tried to convince them.
Armor?
I've tried to convince them this is what's happening, and
Scott's Armor's here.
Okay.
Hey, sorry, Lone. Go ahead. I'm following you. Go ahead.
No. So I've had 2 people now very close to me. I'm like, listen, this is happening, blah, blah, blah. They'd be like, no, whatever, you're crazy. You're just like, the last 8 years of your conspiracy stuff. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave it alone. And eventually they came up to me. They're like, hey, Jameson used to have an eye in it. And they said this to me. I'm like, yeah, I knew that when I was trying to tell you that stuff, but I left you alone. They came to me after and they said, hey, I think, because Jameson is an alcoholic. I don't know if you guys know about this, but he used to have an eye in it, and they used to be bartenders. They used to be bartenders, and they came to me and they said this, and I'm like, you see what I was trying to show you? But I stopped because all I was doing was pushing. I was creating fear for them, and I didn't mean to. You know what I mean?
So you don't think it? So Lone, you don't think it's our duty to try to wake people up, just to kind of let them wake up themselves?
It's our duty to present these things to everybody, because they will eventually go, wow, that used to be Febreze, like what happened to me. No one showed me Mandela. I was sitting there, I clicked on it, and I was like, man, South America used to be over there. And I went online, and boom, all of a sudden, I was like, what? I went to Mandela. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look what I was able to create from that.
How did Australia suddenly get up around the equator?
Right underneath your nose, right underneath your nose, like that. So
no longer the land down under.
Yeah. And my friend Candace lives in New Zealand, and I asked her, did you notice that New Zealand moved? No, we didn't notice anything. Okay. It used to be right next to Australia.
If that were to physically move, the whole world would know.
You're saying in your last video alone about Florida, how like I'm from Canada also on the East Coast in New Brunswick. Okay. And we used to say like we're going down south for vacation. And now, like you said, you have to say I'm going down southwest, to get there. Oh, I said it.
It's so funny. It's so funny. And it was like that for a very long time. I just didn't see it. Nobleness was trying to point it out last year, and I thought, and I saw it in reverse, and that's why more people need to talk with each other, because had I talked to them last year, I might have come up with more ideas between then and now of what was happening. And it's a loss, but it's a good game though. But yeah, you're very right there.
Now I'm gonna jump in here really quick, because I'm sure that people want to ask you a million questions, Lone. They love what you're saying. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna ruin something, so you can stop me at the pass here. But you were talking briefly about the overlays, the island overlays. How there's some kind of consistency to that. Is there something that you can share with that about that, or is that?
That's your question, Tori.
Yeah, it's that one. I want to call it Fingerprints of the Gods, but Graham Hancock has that already coined. But it's almost like we're seeing a repeated pattern happen in the world with certain. Not just these islands, but it's really hard to show because I'm still new to this subject. I just came across this not too long ago. But with these 7 islands I was showing you guys that they're rounded in the Caribbean islands that match up with the ones in the Atlantic. Those are just 2 examples. We could take this huge river that's in Brazil. I'm gonna put a series on. I know I saw you in the comment section asking, Troy, and I apologize I didn't give a shout out at the end because I would have saw those comments, I would have covered it. But I was like, I can't do that now. It's too big.
Nah, that's right.
Coming out, but you'll see all over the world these reoccurring patterns, and you can take these patterns and then invert them and revert them, like turn them upside down, flip them out, and they still fit in other parts of the world perfectly. And this comes up to this thing called the electric universe. You know, I'm still new to it, but it's all about magnetism and electricity and water. And I do believe in the creator, the almighty creator. You know, I love being here and all this. It's just we're seeing like we know that we watch a tool of how he did it. Like I believe like it happened. I'm like, okay, well, cool. Let's show us how it happened. And it's almost like that's what we're being shown right now. I got more coming on that, but you guys can look it up yourself. This isn't something new. This is, you can look it up on YouTube. Sure. You mind if I add a part two? And the star formations that we've been seeing quite a bit with you know, some of the things that you're discovering as well. We're seeing quite a bit of that. I mean, is there any more insightful, you know, information on the star patterns? Star patterns where, on the ground or in the sky? No, on the ground, like the islands that are like, you know, systematically, like, you know, patterned out to be like a star formation. Exactly. There's a lot of this, and a lot of it is, it's not just the islands. It's a lot of these ancient civilization sites. They all always seem to rise at a certain season to Orion's belt or to the Draco belt or to a Draco sign. I'm not familiar with this language yet, but you're correct. The more we shift, you know, the word we use is shift, the more of these ancient cities pop up and the more they reveal themselves. These ancient cities are getting bigger with each shift. And then each shift, it shows like, oh, damn, like you're actually aligning yourself up to Orion. And not only was this one doing it, and so were other ones all around the world. And you're like, how are they doing this? This is amazing. So this is why I said, everybody, look to your past, man. Look to your ancestry. We got to look into this ancient humans civilization stuff. There's a huge key there. Well, I think the other thing you got to look into is what is being hidden from us. Because, you see, technology that we have today has been around. It's not like it just occurred like recently. You know, the ancient Vedics in the Bhagavad Gita, they were talking about, you know, sky ships and, you know, sky wars. And they had weapons called the Brahma, which was basically an atomic weapon that they used. And, you know, it was basically... they called their ships Vermata, and these Vermata, they took around and they actually had a war in which they bombed certain areas with these bombs. And nowadays, if you go back to those areas where supposedly they were bombed, you find that there's high levels of radiation in those areas, just like you would expect if you had exploded a nuclear weapon there. I think they've been hiding technology from us for a very long time, and we're just now finding out about it. You know, it's just now becoming real. What's your take on that? You know, that. Oh, well, I totally agree. I believe there's a huge history to humans that is just told. There's a hole in our history, and we need to learn that, because when we learn that, it's very important for humans to do this. I totally agree. You know, I'm unfamiliar with the names he had just used to describe the airships and the type of people, but I believe there are things like that. I'm just new to this stuff. I'm 2 years new into examining my own culture, who I am as a person. Now I got to dig deeper to understand what's going on. What you just said, I'm like entertained by it. I'm like, speak some more on it. I'm open ears, you know, because Harold is very, very good. He's our government conspiracy enthusiast, but he's just very knowledgeable about it and shares whatever information. But at the same time, he doesn't force you to believe what he believes in it. He just tells you what it is. This is what's out there, which is nice. So it gives him a chance to talk to a lot of people. But I wanted to ask you, Lone Eagle, why I had you right there.
would you be willing to take questions that come up in the chat?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
What did you say?
Would you be willing to take questions that come up in the chat if they want to ask you something? Would you be willing to answer some questions?
Oh, for sure.
That come up in the chat.
If you've got one, ask me for sure.
Okay, thank you so much. I didn't want to put you on the spot. That's the thing.
Okay.
I wanted to ask.
I got a question.
What's the question?
Go ahead, sir.
Sure.
Go ahead.
What's the question, Teresa?
Do we have a question for Lone?
Said she had a question.
Teresa,
Everyone just went. Yeah.
Yes,
Everyone just went into shock.
It might be a delay.
Sure, we heard you.
There's about a 20-second delay. About a 20-second delay.
Like, wow. What kind of Fauqes do you with?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Troy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This is all new to me. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Have you ever seen something change in real time? Like Brian knows the problems I've been having with Residue and things merging right in front of me, like in real time. Have you experienced that yet, Lone Eagle?
No, not that I'm aware of. Just overnight things. I wake up and things are different. If that, like I said, not that I'm aware of. You know.
I've been awake for a year now. Mine's been a year in December that just went by. I've literally found Residue change in front of me on the computer in real time.
Very interesting. What did you find change?
Yes. For example, I found like Residue, like Chick-fil-A, I'd look at it and it said CHICFILA. And all of a sudden, I blinked for a second, and it changed, and literally the K popped up. Like, literally, it's trying to, like, catch up on itself. Like, I found Mellow Yellow, and I remember YELLOW, and it disappeared. The W just vanished. I mean, I'm seeing things in real time. I bought items over the counter that were not merged. For example, Brian knows I bought a box of cookies. I brought them home, and they were not merged on the shelf because I look at it. I come home, I put it in my cabinet, take it out to eat them, and I'm looking at the box, and it's like it's morphing, and it's like merging, like in real time. I've had a lot of weird paranormal stuff in the last year.
Yeah, what's weird about that too, Lone Eagle, is like when stuff changes like that, there's all this residue that's left behind. Especially right after a change, but then it kind of levels out and you don't find as much residue. Me and Teresa have noticed that.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Tell me about the Fruit Loops experience about a year ago.
I seen the residue change the next day. It was that bad.
So one day it was like this, and the next day it was like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Fruit Loops. I found.
I mean,
I saw that with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, I saw that. I saw the C one year, C one day, K the next day.
Yeah, here's something.
Yes,
I have people I talk to as well who have these same experiences, and they come from light. They come from this. This is, you know, I get replenished through, you know, people like this, and they have the same experiences you're seeing. All right, the exact same thing. And they take it and run with it, and they always tell me, "Do you know why I saw that, Lone?" I'm like, "Why?" Because I don't deal with fear ever. I'm like, "Cool." They're like, "Try it." I'm like, "I do this all the time," you know. I'm like, "Love, love, love." So, I mean,
so I had a question along those lines here, Lone. What is your native background, by the way?
Cree-native up northwestern Canada.
Awesome. And then, I mean, your cultural background, your Indian heritage, or your Native American heritage is.
Scott?
Cree.
Do you know? Oh, Cree. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know that you know, Native Americans. I mean, they've been here forever. So, I mean, I trust in what they say. And you know, in fact, you know, you really got me tied into the, you know, the music. You know, I listen to it every night before I go to sleep. Like the flutes and all that kind of stuff. It really kind of helps me settle down. At least the things that, you know, I've been, you know, because I think about it all the time. You know, obviously being more in touch with that, you know, I would imagine that there's more information that's got to come through you. That's got to give you. That's going to give you some more like resolve in you know in the peace aspect, because I know there's a lot of people out here, including myself, that also deal with those fear factors of like, you know, there's something, it does feel like, you know, once you experience this, it's a very frightening experience, and you've turned this into, you know, something where we don't have to worry about it because you know, there's something greater and much better coming our way. And that makes it much more relieving to hear, you know, I mean, why would you, you know, I mean, I'm just saying from my perspective, I mean, I'm not Native American, obviously, but, I mean, you know, what is the reasoning behind that we can feel some peace along with you? You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
I mean,
it's scary.
I mean, listen, we're all cut from the same cloth. I mean, that's a very broad question. Listen, that's a very hard one to answer. I've just always grew up loving people, loving life, animals, everything, food to eat, myself. And I know that this could be a scary time for a lot of people. It was for me for a week. I shut down when I first discovered this. I shut down. I didn't eat. I didn't do anything. Like, I did eat a little bit, but I came out of it. I was like, okay, there's a creator. And then I just, boom, I was waiting for people to make videos on Google Earth. It didn't happen. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. But
cool.
It has nothing. Cool. It has nothing to do. Well, it has a little bit, but really nothing to do with being Native American. It just has to deal with who you are inside. If you look at the panel now, we're all from different places, you know, and we're all from different backgrounds, different ages, genders. There's no way of telling. You cannot take a poll and be like, where are you from and where are you, and we're gonna find out.
Of course not.
We're gonna dot the map and figure this out. You can't do that. That does not work.
No, you can't.
So we have to get that. Measuring things. What I was doing, tracing stuff, doesn't work. Going to the store and looking at things with your finger and measuring it, that doesn't work anymore. So.
Oh, it doesn't work anymore? Did they patch it?
Well, it's not that. It's just, it's always just going to be that way. It's just always going to be like that. It's not going to get any bigger or smaller. And if it does, you're always going to remember it like that eventually. But this whole thing, I forget what your question was. Sorry, it was so broad. But it's really like, I look at my native symbol, the 4 directions and the medicine wheel, white, black, red, and yellow. We're all cut from the same cloth because in this heritage, we were all brought together and then we were split, you know, to go experience life. And we were to come back together at one point and teach each other these things. We were supposed to follow a set of rules, and should not one of us follow it, there will be a hard time on earth. One of us didn't follow it, and this is what happened. But now we just held on enough. There was enough light and enough joy in the world to fix this. And that's what you're seeing. And I get it. I get it. So it doesn't have to, it has nothing to do with being native, but it does a little bit. You know what I mean? It has to deal with being human and just feeling inside and being kind. That's why I always say at the end, I love you guys, love your neighbor. I'm having a hard time loving my neighbor right now because she's really hard to deal with. Maybe it's my own problem. It's my own issue though too.
Yeah.
It's my own issue. It's my own issue too, because I fail to communicate properly with her. I fail to communicate on my end, so because I'm dealing with my own fear. You know,
putting yourself in her shoes will probably help.
It does. It will help.
So, you know, Lone, do you think that empathy has a lot to do with how a lot of people like us getting the Mandela effect, like cluing into it? Do you think empathy's got a lot to do with it?
I'm an empath.
Oh, empathy is huge. Empathy is a big one for sure. Like if you can feel for somebody.
Well, aside from empathy, do you believe in the empaths? The empath phenomena? The Mandela effect?
Sure. Yeah, I'm deep into empaths. Like I still don't understand it. I don't want to speak on it because like I'm trying to really respect that whole area. That's a deep one. Empaths, empathy are two different things. You don't confuse those two because they're two entirely different things. One's feeling like the sorrow for someone, like, you know, like, man, I really feel for that person. I'm going to give them some money. The other one is feeling their pain, even if you don't know they're in the room or in the next room beside you. You're like, man, you're sitting and you're like, man, I feel this pain. Where's it coming from? You go aside, there's a little girl there crying for something. And you're like, wow, I felt that in that next room. That's what empath is. So we cannot confuse the two. But yes, I am a big believer in these things for sure, and I believe empathy is a big. Is a big variable.
Okay, so that being said, is that the lion's share of the people that you're connecting with right now on the internet, right? So, I mean, do you reach out to people personally on the outside? You know, I mean, people that you're coming across on a daily basis. You know, are you actively trying to find these people? I mean, how do you go about? I mean, is this something that's constantly in your mind, or do you just kind of go about your daily business?
I've met so many people since I've opened my channel, and I've come across so many wonderful people with such wonderful information. I keep in touch with, I keep in touch with very few, and it's a shame. I'm trying to reach out more. I wish I had talked to more people. And if you guys are out there, I apologize. I'm trying to talk to you more, but I just let things flow. I don't try and dig in here. I don't try and look for things. I let people come to me and be like, "Hey, Lone, this is what's happening. Just want to shoot some information your way. This is maybe why you're feeling this." And we're into empathy. I'm like, cool, man. And the other people, it all comes together, and then I'll start reaching out. Me and Troy are talking a lot on Hangouts, and it's just a circle. It's just a circle of, love your neighbors. So we have to be very open-minded, because we're seeing stuff happening where we're all coming from different backgrounds. I didn't come from any type of structure. I came from just being poor in the ghetto. How did I see this without being within any church or any organization? How did I get to see this? Because of what this man just said, empathy. Because I had a lot of it. It's a huge variable. So
now, do you feel that's because we all have? I mean, obviously, there's got to be some kind of connection as to why we're all seeing this anomaly, this supernatural effect happening, and other people do not. Do you have any insight on why that we're all seeing this at the same time, or?
I'm an empath.
Ooh, that's a nice one. I just believe that we would have to dig deep into our ancient history to understand that. Like I said, we have a big hole, and it's not like, oh, we all became blind within the last 30 years. No, this has been a plan against us, maybe for who knows how long. Could be thousands, and we're just seeing it all come to play now. So I can't say why people are, as we would call them, zombies or asleep. I have no idea. I have a small idea, or they watch too much TV, or been indoctrinated by the school system, or this and that. But
that's another question. How many people out there are going to be conditioned by the Super Bowl halftime?
Well, I don't think that stuff. Whenever I watch these things now, I watch it with humor. I am no longer amused by the Illuminati or the Stonemasons. They don't entertain me anymore. And whenever stuff like the half bowl comes up, I giggle. And I'm
me too.
What are you gonna do? Because it looks like you guys are losing. The people who are in power, they don't look like they really have power. They look funny now, and there's a reason for that. And you're going to start seeing all these famous people, all these people that have power looking kind of silly, and you're already starting to see it. I know you guys are.
For sure.
Yeah. We do have a question. We do have a question from chat for Teresa. Teresa, do you hear us? Microphone. Teresa, are you there? Okay, Teresa, we have a question for you from the chat that says. We have a question for you, Teresa, from the chat that says.
Oh, me?
Teresa, you are from.
Yes.
You are from the
I'm not ready for that one. Wow, I actually get a question.
They are asking. Micro Magic Mystery Man likes to ask if you remember McCarran Airport, several miles down from Tropicana Avenue, from the Strip in Las Vegas. They lived in Las Vegas for 2 years.
Yes.
And to them, it definitely moved. They think that it's a residual.
Yes, there's an explanation for that. McCarran Airport is so big that it actually takes up, how do I explain this? it takes up a lot of area. Like Tropicana goes like west, which is part of McCarran, and you've got like a private airport over there. And then you have on the Strip, which is also part of a private area. And then you got way behind it, which is like near Eastern. And Sunset, that's part of the airport. So what it is it's so big that it takes up a lot of roads. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But yeah, the airport's always been there. The exception of that, you have the private areas in one part of it, of the field, and then you have another part of it, and then you have the regular airport. It's huge.
Did it move in your recollection?
Ask him, I can't see the chat room, but ask him exactly what is he talking about. Like when he's trying to I'm trying to understand this.
He's asking if the airport itself moved, and if it did, do you have residuals on it?
I don't think it moved because I've been living in Vegas since 2004.
Okay.
And I've always remembered the airport in the same place.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So the answer to you, Michael,
to me, it has
Mr.
moved.
Man, she does not see the airport move. For her, it hasn't. So hopefully that helps you out somewhat.
Where does he think it moved to? Ask him.
You just did.
But I can't see the chat room, guys.
Now, Lone, hey, let me ask you a question too. You know Area 51, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, you know, me growing up, you know, I've always remembered Area 51 being in New Mexico. You know, that's just where I recall being. Does that kind of resonate with you, or do you always remember it over there in the Las Vegas area?
I remember it being really far north, like past the Speedway. It's really, really far. I can't even get to it. I don't have a car.
How about you,
but I know it's really far, like far. And you want to hear a secret, guys? You want to hear a secret about Area 51? I found out.
Wait. Okay, go ahead.
Employees from the airport there every day.
Yes.
A private plane. It was on our local news. They literally,
I heard that.
Everybody who goes to work to Area 51 get flown out of McCarran Airport on a private jet.
Yeah,
they don't drive the cars to work. They fly from the airport.
Heard that.
I mean, that's interesting.
It is interesting. Micro Magic Mystery Man did reply.
They were showing it on our local news. We have Fox 5 News, and they were showing that. It was really interesting.
So, Lone, again, what the question is, do you remember
I'd like to talk to him further. Is there a way I can get a hold of him? Ask him? I'll talk to him more.
Who are you talking to?
I'll do it, Teresa.
The guy on chat.
I'll take care of it, Teresa.
Sorry?
I got it right now.
Hi, we got a response from Micro Magic Mystery Man.
I got it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I
can hear you perfectly.
I can't see the chat room, guys. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
Tell him I'd like to discuss it further with him. I'm trying to ask how I can get in touch with him.
I got it.
I don't want to get my phone number out over the air. Hey, if you want to put him like in a chat, you know how we have our PM. I'll be glad to talk to him.
Give me that 850 number, Brian, again.
850-764.
Oh, he can call in.
1552. Tell him to call in.
Yeah, go ahead and call in. I'll talk to you.
Brian,
I'll talk to you.
I'm giving him the number right now. He's going to call in, and you'll share Teresa's Facebook information. This way they can chat on Facebook.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't mind him calling me also on my phone, as long as he doesn't call me at work.
It's done.
Okay.
And so Lone, question for you, bud. Hey, do you recall Area 51 being over there in New Mexico, or?
Area 51 for me.
Las Vegas.
Has always been in Nevada, but
Nevada, yeah.
Yes.
The thing with New Mexico would be the Roswell thing that I remember. That's
that's me too. I'm on that timeline as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
agree with
Me
that
too.
one. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, they moved a lot of the secret stuff from Area 51. It's not there anymore. They moved it to hangar. I think they call it Hangar 21. It's on a like a secured base now, where all the different corporations they set up shop on this base. Huh?
It's the low rent side, better coffee.
Yeah, they set up this I guess secured base, for lack of a better term. They have different corporations on the same base. They each have different buildings now, and I think they call it Building 21 or Area 21. I'm not sure if it's building or area, but they moved a lot of their, concept aircraft, whatever, to that base, because too much was going on in Area 51. Plus, the fact is, Area 51 got contaminated.
It's too high. Notoriety is too high.
Yeah, they were burning some stuff there that ended up causing cancer and a lot of the people that were working there, and it contaminated a huge section of the area there. So they moved a lot of their aircraft from there to this other place. And the only reason I know that is because I saw a show on it where somebody actually, I guess, went to this place, Area 21 or, Building 21, whatever it is, and they said that it's now being considered a secret facility. In other words, you can go in, but you can only go to certain places, and that's it.
Right.
And you have to be escorted.
Right.
Yeah, you have to be escorted to that place. I don't even know where it is, honestly. I'd have to look it up. But I do know that...
I think that is one of the things that you don't really know where it is. You got a general location.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not on a map.
I don't know where it is, but I do know that Area 51 got contaminated. I do know that they got sued because people got sick from the stuff they were burning there. They were burning like chemicals and other things that were pretty unsavory, and people got sick.
Didn't they hold out forever until like the early 2000s to settle?
Yeah.
Settle these things?
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah. Well, for a long time they said that the base didn't exist. What base?
Like every other corporation in the United States at one time.
Yeah.
We weren't doing it. They held
No,
out.
it wasn't even. Well, it wasn't even we aren't doing it. It's what base? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. Which is cruel.
It doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Area 51 for me has changed. Like, I used to check out Area 51 all the time on Google Earth. Area 51 has moved, and it's like changed a little bit of a direction. And the only reason why I know this is because of that dried up salt lake it's on. It used to be shaped differently, and it used to be on a different angle with that airport. That's at Area 51, and those buildings. That whole area is messed up. So you're also gonna find a lot of other stuff like that happening, where there's like incidences like Building 21. It just keeps expanding. This world keeps expanding, and it's very interesting stuff.
Well, building Area 51 actually had I guess parts of a mountain there that were actually used as hangars for different aircraft, and now that doesn't even exist. That part is no longer there.
When they dig out part of the mountain, they dig into the part of the mountain to use as a hangar. That's what
right, but it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, but it's not there anymore.
Because there's no mountain. There's nothing there.
There's no mountain. What mountain?
What mountain? Right. Exactly.
Yeah. What mountain? And you know, it falls right in line to Lone Eagle when he said that a lot of lakes appeared in Canada that weren't there. Right. Whole sections of the country here, the United States, either changed, became land, or became water. Right. Like Delaware. Delaware is now an island, basically.
Yep.
You know, so
this little Colorado River, was it, and the Little Grand Canyon. I mean, that's unmistakable. That's unmistakable.
That freaked me out.
There's also a Great Wall of Pakistan now, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why this is so important is that Lone Eagle was there, and he did the study, like he said, when he did his 10-day trip. He went and he's planning. I'm assuming he's not rich, so he's planning. He's planning everything he's going to do every minute of every day. This is what I'm going to do, and he walked these areas, and now he's looking at the map saying these are not the same areas. These are completely different. I think I would have known if a river was there was no river there. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's exactly fact with major proof. I was there. I did the research. I had to go do the vacation.
Well, beyond that, just a little side note: the Inuit, who do a lot of fishing and hunting, they basically saw that something had happened with the Earth. The Earth's, I guess, its tilt had changed, and they noticed it by way of where the sun was, because they tell time by the way of the sun and by way of the moon, and they also tell the seasons by way of the sun and the moon. And so they called NASA and actually told NASA that something's happened, because the days are now shorter, and the sun is coming from the wrong direction, and the moon is coming from the wrong direction. And that means something's happened to our tilt.
Yeah.
On the Earth.
Yes, perhaps. Yes, that's right. But I know that we all have our hands, our fingers, I should say, on the pulse of different things that are going on in various groups, in various Facebook postings, and various chats. One of the latest things that I just came up with, Harold, that I just found out about was another person in Hawaii was at some gathering, whatever they were at, and there were two moons, and there were 2 moons in the sky. Okay. Right. Now, before you guys go, oh, wait, maybe it was this or maybe
no,
it was that.
It was.
Well, I understand, but this guy is the most profound individual. He cannot be turned. You understand? He believes what he believes. That's just the way that it is. Don't argue with this guy. He's another ad man like me. So he turns around, and I don't even know what to say. He goes, I wasn't going to take pictures of it because I didn't want everybody just attacking me that it was something else. But you're going to have to take my word for it. There was 2 moons in the sky. What does everybody think? And I said, well, if this guy is saying there's 2 moons in the sky, guess what? It sure as heck wasn't Venus. It's definitely 2 moons in the sky. So sure enough, so I'm waiting to see other people talk about that, and sure enough, they are. And it's obviously a problem. It's a big problem.
Also, the sun's coming from the wrong place.
Right, exactly. Now, if Harold is saying the sun is coming from the wrong place, you're pretty sure we know that the sun is coming from the wrong place, because he knows he's looked at the stuff enough times. It's Lone Eagle. It's like Lone Eagle saying, look, this river was not here. You're pretty sure that this river wasn't here before.
Yes, namely the Little Colorado. Was it the Little Colorado River?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's many signs. Like, it's not. I don't just like. We just have to understand our history. Like, the Colorado River was a very stale river in the canyon because there was just no sediment running through it. There was like, life was dying. But now at each end of this Colorado River, you'll find 2 rivers now. There's another river just like that at the other end, feeding it fresh water. And these are huge signs, huge.
Because you were alluding to the fact that they were damming it, they were killing it because of the Colorado River. Then they had the Little Colorado River that brings in tons of sediment. Where did that come from? That's what you're saying.
Why didn't they dam that up? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I have to agree. I have to agree 100%. This is part of the reason why I love your videos so much, because Lone Eagle, for those people who don't know, goes into great detail and he somehow keeps it interesting, and just a very interesting subjects on what would otherwise be, you would think would be dull, and it's not. He keeps it fresh, he keeps it flowing, and it's great. In very good videos.
Thank you very much. Those kind words, man. Thank you.
Oh, it is. And Troy's a big fan too. We've all seen your stuff. That's why we wanted you on the show, because we liked your cadence, we liked liked your subject, we liked your mannerisms. We thought you were great.
And all the channels are doing this. Everybody that has a channel, everybody flows naturally because it just comes. It's honest stuff. It's like, you know what I mean? If you're just honest and you're curious like a child and you're excited, you're going to sound just like that, and the information is going to be true, and people are going to click, like, you know, and talk to you. So
right. And you're very quick to respond too, which is nice.
I'm listening.
Very quick to respond.
I wish I was that quick on the emails, though.
Oh, there's something I put something up and I get a response a month later. Sorry, I didn't get back to you. I've been busy for the last 30 days.
Yeah, social media skills, man. I just suck at them. But you know, I didn't appreciate what I had. That's the other thing, and that was a part of. I went into a slump, and you could kind of see in my videos, like I get dark with these World War videos, and I get my thumbnails, I get all dark. That was me losing my way a bit. And then all of a sudden I just was like, man, I need more color. Someone's like, you need more color in your life, dude. I was like, shit, you're right. And then I was like, it's because I fell in this slump and I don't know where it came from, but I got out of it, and then boom, I took off again. I took off, you know. So
you know what, though, I can honestly say that I think, as you just said that, I think every one of us have been there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We've all been in slumps for sure. We're just, you know, we're not looking, we're not talking, we're just doing something else. You know?
Yeah, and it's gonna happen again. People are gonna fall again, and you just have to get back up. And that's why you are at this level you're at, because of perseverance. You know, like you have appreciation and sensitivity and understanding. You know, compassion, gentleness, deep love, and you understand what it's like to be on the bottom, so you appreciate life more. So this is another key to, it's like empathy. Well, now you've experienced life, and you're like, man, I don't want that to happen to nobody else. So, you know, it's a huge one.
Yeah,
huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of theories out here, Lone, about, you know, what's actually causing this. You know, let me give you a little prime example. You know, obviously this is going in perhaps in a different direction. Let's just say that Nibiru is coming our way. You know, do you have any advice for someone that is big into the Nibiru theory coming our way?
Nibiru is is that Nephilim?
That's the giant planet, the destroyer planet, Planet X.
Planet 10.
Nibiru.
So here's what I'll say about that. It's that story was being told on our old planet where we were on Sagittarius Arm, right? I forget where we are now.
I knew about that back in the, I knew about that.
We're now in
so they were
Orion Spur.
They were giving us precise calculations for us being there, but now we've moved. So I'm like, what? We still have these precise calculations. So I mean, if I really don't know that subject, I can't speak on that. You know,
something's not adding up, is it?
What I do get from that, though, when a lot of people bring that up, is I do sense this huge sense of fear, because I've seen the channels, I've seen all those YouTube channels, they're endless talks about Planet X, Nephilim. Yeah. I would just not even, I haven't paid attention to that stuff in a long time. It's just like the Federal Bank Reserve. I was terrified of the dollar collapsing. It's like, I don't want to save my water. I don't want to go fucking defend my home. Right? I don't want to be like a zombie apocalypse, like The Walking Dead. But I let that go, and it hasn't happened. I let that stuff go 3-4 years ago. It hasn't happened, and they kept saying it's going to happen in a quarter century. Buy your silver, buy your gold. It hasn't happened, and I ignored it. I just gave it no energy. Don't give that stuff energy. If you feel yourself fearful of anything, stop clicking on the video immediately. Don't go back to it, and then you'll see a huge change. You know, click on the love videos.
Wow, perception. Okay, good. I like that. That's good.
But I don't want to, like, I don't know anything about Planet X. I can't sit here and tell you much about it. Like, you're talking to the wrong guy. I don't pay attention to that. It does not affect my life at all. None.
Well, and the reason why I say that is because there's just a multitude of theories that are going on that's actually creating this whole anomaly, this whole supernatural effect. You know, you hear all these different theories coming about, and so you know what I mean. That's one of the things that you have to consider. You know, is that, you know, is this the apocalypse? Is this the unveiling? Is this all the things that you know that are going wrong in the universe that we're in, or the multiverse, I guess, that you know, are now exposing themselves? Because the reality is that here we have all these things coming about, these people that I perceived as good people, and you know, now they're being perceived as like these pedophiles and, you know, these sex offenders and these really horrible people. Yeah. You know, the people that you know I guess, you know, I would never would have looked at them like that. I never would have perceived them. Look, what was it? The astronaut. Who was it, Ty? That was it? Not John Glenn. The alcoholic.
Armstrong.
Yeah. You know, exactly. A very stoic man. A very, you know, well respected man is now some drunken fool.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my Lord. Let me touch up on
what's ever happened in my timeline.
So you're talking about, oh man, I used to love these people, but now they're turning out to be these really bad people, and you're gonna see a lot of that happening. And it's been happening for me for about 8 years. You know, I watched this series called Satanism and Hip Hop in Hollywood, and that's what really got me into this whole thing that we call conspiracy. This was 8-10 years ago. But I was like, are you serious? You mean Tupac is like that? You mean Eminem? All these guys are like that? Like, really? That's what they do behind doors? I was so let down. I was so upset. But at the same time, I was like, you tricked me. I don't like being tricked. You know, I really don't like it. And I was like, and I don't want to swear. I'm like, you bleep, bleep. You know, and I was like, man, it hurts. But you're going to see this trend happening where these people, and you're seeing it already, and they're being exposed. It's like, what is in the dark shall come to light. And there's a passage like that, right, in Luke somewhere. I don't know if it's totally related to everything I'm saying, but we're seeing a lot of this stuff. People who used to be really bad are now, they can't hide it. And you'll also see people start it's like, look at Hillary. Look what happened to her in the last 2 years of her election. Kooky, like she started losing her mind. Why? Because that's what happens to these people. They've had such a threshold on us that they've already lost their powers. We're watching it dwindle. That's why I say to people, just hang in there. Stop approaching Mandelas with fear. Like, stop going, what? This is effing weird, man. Blah blah blah. Be like, wow, we are witnessing their kingdom fall right in front of our eyes. Like the ones who are paying attention. What Hillary was doing the last year, I was like, what is going on with her? Until I fully understand. I was like, oh, I don't fully understand, but until I got a really good edge on it, I'm like, oh, you mean these people are getting ugly and they're looking dumb? I was sharing stuff with Troy about Tupac, you know, earlier, and he's just as amazed. And I was telling him, I'm like, look, you're going to see this happen.
Big time, man.
Oh, you're talking about the Hillary clone.
No, I'm just talking about Hillary herself and like what's happening to her character.
No, I'm saying it's like she became a clone, you know.
I don't know about clones.
It was one L, wasn't it?
Something. It was one L.
Here's a challenge for you guys, because I know a lot of the viewers are very. They love their country. They know all about the presidents. I don't.
Sure.
They know deep into their history. You're gonna start seeing them really shine and who they really are. And I've already looked into Abraham Lincoln, Washington. A lot of us already know about the surface stuff. But I'm talking about who they were married to, how crazy these people were. And I don't mean crazy like, oh, they're going around killing people. No, mentally crazy, like illnesses that these powerful presidents has had and we were unaware. You're going to see this occur now. It's all coming to light. I was just saying, I've been watching these videos on the turn of the century, and there's amazing information in there. Look back at your ancestry.
I'm sorry, I didn't get to announce, but Tom, DigitalScribe, just entered our chat. Hey, Tom, what's going on, man?
Hey, everyone. How's everybody doing out there?
Hey, what's up, Tom?
Hey,
Doing
Tom.
great, man.
We got Lone Eagle.
Yeah, I know. I enjoy your videos here, Lone Eagle, especially about the retroactive history changes, you know? It's awesome.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You got some cool video. The one that really shocked me, Lone Eagle, was your video about the difference in filming the camera. You know, like from World War One and World War Two, and then you did 1890 something.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were using HD photography.
Yeah.
In the 1800s. It's like,
and then his hysterical laughter will definitely put that into perspective.
Yeah. Actually, he said.
It's beautiful stuff, and a viewer just sent me this awesome article on this student who had a hand pocket camera in like 1890. He was going around taking people.
What?
And I'm about to share that with people. Like, you guys can look it up yourselves. If you want to expose it, go ahead. I'm doing so many videos, but if you look into that, you'll see
camera.
Yeah, a spy pocket camera. It was the size of a like his palm, like held in his palm. He just walked around, and the pictures were unbelievable. I'm like, how is this even possible? So
how could they have had that technology? Their cameras were the size of freaking I don't know, a backpack.
An antelope.
I'm telling you,
they were huge. They were huge,
like a vampire deer that big.
Yeah,
they were the size of a vampire deer.
Yeah, you know, they had to freaking. They had to open it, close it,
and find it. You could probably pull it right now and find it.
No, but I'm saying they had to like take this thing and pull it off and expose this film on this huge thing. You know, there's no way in the universe they had a pocket camera in the 1800s. No. It didn't happen.
Yes.
You know,
we had another question in the chat. And the question, because I decided who's
gonna be good. I can tell it's gonna be a good one.
It's not. It's from Aura 1.
Yeah.
Aura 1. The fourth side of the 3 is 1, and wanted to know.
Yeah. What's the question?
Who the guy in the jacket was? It looks like Chris Jericho, and the only guy in the jacket has to be me. That I do not look like Chris Jericho at all. But,
Chris.
Wow. Yeah.
Wait, where's Chris Jericho? What?
I think I had to look him up myself because I saw some wrestler. You know.
So you look like Chris Jericho? Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's what the person said, but I do not. But there you go. There's asked and answered.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
There you go,
bro.
Right. Good question.
Sure. Yeah, it's a Mandela effect. I used to be Chris Jericho, and now
there you go.
I'm not.
Yeah.
It's probably just a Mandela effect. You
know? Yeah.
Well, Chris Jericho is Canadian.
Interesting.
Right, of course, right,
okay.
Sure. It was Canadian, now stateside. I don't know what to say, but I do have one thing to say about that for Lone Eagle, and also for Harold because he's in a lot too.
Somebody is squeaking on this line. I hear like squeaking or something like that going on in the chat or on the in the forum.
Is that a dog? Someone's animal?
Yeah, someone's got like a whining dog.
Yeah, that's my dog.
That's Ty's dog.
Oh,
always whine.
Someone has a whining dog. Might want to put that in the other room.
It's my pug.
Oh, you?
Yeah. When I talk,
he's got a whiny pug.
Yes, when I talk, she wants to be heard.
That's Ty's dog.
Well, pug it in, Ty. It's whining.
All right, now everyone has to share their dog.
I don't have a dog.
I'm
I got a cat.
Awesome, man.
Okay, so I did want to ask you guys, Harold and Lone Eagle specifically, how do you deal with, like me and Troy were talking about the myriad of Mandela effects that are not really, they're not what we would call grade A Mandela effects. They're baby Mandela effects where there's not a whole lot of agreement with them. They're small, They're you know, they're not real strong, but they think they're a Mandela effect. How do you keep the purity of the Mandela effect and not have things go into, you know, what would be confabulation? It's a mismemory. How do you
That's a good question, Ty.
How do you keep it straight?
Yeah, you don't want to water it down. You want to make sure that they're true, authentic.
At the same time, Tom, we don't want to have consensus where, you know, like a club, you got to believe the way I believe or the way that Earl believes, because if you don't, then you can't be in our club.
Oh
no, there's still realities. I mean, you know, like I bring this up before, like Stairway to Heaven. I always remember, but buying a Stairway to Heaven. Brian always remembers building. You know?
I remember building.
You know,
that's so weird.
That's why I think that the best way to handle it, I think, would be calling it. One would be a grade A Mandela effect, which is general agreement among everyone, and then a maybe Mandela, which would be not a whole lot of agreement, but we don't want to squelch anybody out. We're going to allow it anyway.
But also you got to remember too about what I said the last time with Teresa and the Fruit Loops. Like I've seen it with the FROOT months before Teresa saw change. So
that's it.
time.
You just invoked Teresa, so now you're going to fix it.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you got to face her.
Yeah. Now you gotta throw some money in the basket, and then you will be allowed to pass.
Influential Mandela, right? Well,
if you don't pass go, you don't collect $200.
That's it.
Monopoly.
Sure.
Ty,
I really think that this universe could be hacked. Really
Ty.
Yes.
I think that to answer your question, the best way that I can answer it is this. There are proactive changes happening, and then you have things that change back and forth. And I think those things are controlled by AI. I have a feeling that AI has something to do with that, because, you know, things like songs, for instance, we saw this in Hotel California, where one word would change and then it would change back, and then it would change and then it would change back, and
this could be heaven or this could be hell.
Yeah, and it was changing on the fly. And the only way that could happen is the only way that could happen is like AI, you know?
No, not the only
I think
way.
sometimes it's a feedback loop too.
Yeah.
It's not the only way.
All right.
Happen through. It's not the only way, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you what the way is.
I was referring to
tell me the only way. Tell me the only way then.
I'm not going to tell you what the only way is. That's what I'm saying, but we can't sit here and say it's AI because we don't have no proof of this. All we have is speculations, and it's just like everything else in this world. So that's why I said
we're going to have to.
It could be your own consciousness affecting the reality too. You don't want to dismiss that either.
We're going to have to go with grade A Mandela effects and the maybe Mandela effects. We're going to have to categorize them like that, or else we're going to be going into confabulation territory. And we don't want to.
I don't know what's an example of.
We should form a Mandela effects community board.
Oh, you think?
And we could like
what a great idea!
We could
get together.
Yeah, no, this is what we could do. We could like sanction it. Go, yes, this is an authentic Mandela effect. It's been approved by the Mandela effect board. You know.
Well, exactly. We don't have to vote on it, but you know the fact is,
put out publishing every month of.
Making an A level A Mandela, level B Mandela is the old world thinking. This is where we put things in divisions again. We have to stop that. You're creating division again. You know what I mean? Like
stop it.
You know what I mean?
We're ready.
I think it's the greatest show on earth. If you ask me, it's the greatest show on the earth.
Hey, Lone, do you have any insight on the? You know, I know there's a lot of theorism on the 144,000 Light Warrior theory. Do you have anything about that? I mean, are you thinking about the chosen ones, the children of Enoch?
No, I don't. I don't know anything about that.
Well, those are the type of things that we're talking about. That's what's coming up. That's coming up, and that would be a maybe Mandela effect, where people are putting that sort of conjecture up, and that's what we're trying to stop.
There's a whole lot of speculation on everything.
Right. So what we're trying to do,
you got to look at that.
Rather than create the
you got to look at the pattern. But you want to look at the patterns that's going on. That's what you got to look at is the patterns.
Well,
I mean, self-admittedly,
find stuff
I would just enjoy. Like what? Here's the thing. I learned in the last 2 years is that I don't think there's enough to put it all together. I think what we're supposed to do, because what's happening is like there's this raging river, and we're at the side holding on, going nah. I gotta get out of this. Just let go.
Oh yeah, baby. Let it go. Let it go. Let the festivities continue.
And let the river take you. And don't.
Oh, absolutely.
It's raging, but it will take you. It has been holding you this whole life. It just got a little rough now. Don't worry about it. But there's no need to be like small or big Mandelas. We can't measure this stuff. We don't.
No, you can't. It's all the same, no matter what it is. There is no actually small or big. It's just a Mandela change, you know?
Yeah, it's like there's no small act of kindness. They all cause massive ripples, and they all come back together. You know, it's all good. It's all good, man.
So essentially, just enjoy the ride. You know that we are the ones that can see. I mean, what is the privilege in that?
Oh, it's great, man. I mean, it's the greatest entertainment. Every day I find out a new effect. It's like greatest show on earth. I enjoy it.
It's a privilege with fear. You know, to see things that we once knew. The one thing that gets me is that we are the ones that can see this, but you know, at what cost? The cost is, you know, that the ones that we. Well, you know, the cost is for me, you know, personally, is that the ones that I knew very closely don't see it, and I think that's the running theme, you know, and you know what I mean is that, you know, you try to, you know, to point these things out, and the people that you once knew that you were intimate with, and you know that you had that, you know, very close relationship with, they don't, and now they perceive you as, you know, you're losing your mind. You're going crazy.
That's perfect. That's exactly. I hear a lot of that, and this is what happens. I'll tell you how I deal with this stuff. When I sit down at my computer desk, this is when I enter Mandela world. It's me, you guys, and Mandela. The moment I get off this chair, I enjoy life. I don't worry about. I am no longer trying to show these people Mandela in my life. I know I've learned something. Cannot do that. So once I'm off this computer, I'm gonna go enjoy my chicken shawarma here now. After I'm done here, I'm gonna go watch more documentaries, and I'm not worried about Nibiru. I'm not worried about the central bank. I'm not worried about, and like, aren't they dying off? And did the Rothschilds and Rockefeller die anyway? Aren't these signs, like, are we not taking heed of these signs as well? Like the powers that were are dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the joy in that. You know what I mean? Search your history. What he was talking about with the spaceships and, you know, the planets. Look into that more. Why do we have this planetary ring that's floating around? That's a bunch of rocks. Was that a planet before? I don't know. Look into our history. We have such a huge hole in our history. It's amazing that we could just. I don't know. I'm running off here. I was just.
No, of course. No, that's kind of like the consensus of what we're all thinking too. You know.
Yeah.
But search things with joy and curiosity. That's the thing. But like I said, once I leave this computer, this Mandela, I'm enjoying the world right now, and part of the reason why when I jump on, I'm excited. I'm like, hey guys, what's up, man? Hey, I got this shit to show you. Bloom, bloom, bloom. And then when I get off, I'm just excited. But now I'm even more amped to go enjoy my life. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go deliver food, but this is like usually a boring job, but I love it. Let's go do this. So I'll do that for hours, you know what I mean? Make lots of tips. Good things come from that. I get mad tips, you know, because I feel I'm entering it with such love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And well deserved for sure. You know, hey, Lone, you know, I don't know how much more time you have, but you know, I was gonna say, man, you know, obviously you have a few series coming up that I'm intrigued about. You want to tell anybody about what you got going on, or?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to. So I've got 2 series. Like, one of them is not really serious. Like, probably 1 or 2 videos. It's going to be on my native culture. I found a native man who should be that everybody should know about. Maybe some of you do. I know I don't. Like, we should say his name with Geronimo and Sitting Bull, and then it should be this man. This native man did not exist, but he is so powerful, and he's tied in with white people too. In the time that was just chaotic, you're like, what? Wow. And it also led me to I keep talking to people about the Hopi. The reason why I never put out a video, I respect them too much. I respect them way too much to be like, blah, I'm going to say this. But I've learned enough to say something.
Guys,
I didn't know enough then. I was not going to do what other people are doing. I had to learn about it. I've spent the last 6-7 months learning about this. So that's part of the series. I don't know how many videos that is. The next one, which you're going to like, Troy, is the ancient human civilization one. I'm going to take people all over the world to each site all over the world, and I'm going to show you how they either didn't exist in our timeline, or B, they exist now and they've gotten bigger with each shift. And you guys can look into this yourself. I'm not really exposing anything. I'm just showing people what's already there. With each shift we go through, a place like Petra grows more. There are more Petras. There are more buildings carved out of rock. Go ahead, look into it. I'm not exposing anything. They're just there. The pyramids, Peru, all these amazing ancient sites. And that's what I mean about, because then you will learn about spaceships going up into space and blowing up planets, maybe. I don't know. But I guarantee you, here's the thing about ancient civilization technology. It's probably been way better than what we have now, but something probably happened that knocked them back into caveman time. It probably destroyed the earth, maybe like a meteor hitting the planet or a flood. I don't know. But those people were smart when they survived it. They just didn't have the tools to rebuild it, so they look like caveman. There's just so much to life that's so beautiful. Doesn't that spark curiosity? Like, that's what we're going to be looking into.
No doubt. No doubt. And let me tell you, you have developed such a following, Lone, that you actually have a lot of eyes searching out for some of the other things that are going out there. So, of course, you get spoon-fed a lot of things, which is great, obviously, being in your position. You have such a way of presenting things that are fascinating. And, of course, it's going to continue to grow. And that's, I think, part of the reason why you've done so well. You've reached a lot of people on such a, an intimate level where people can relate to what you're doing. And, it's such a pleasure to have you, on the show. And by all means, I'd love to have you back on again to talk about some of the things that you're doing. For me personally, Lone, you pulled me through some really tough times, my friend.
Wow.
And personally, I was in absolute, I was in what you were telling, the masses out here of what not to do. I was in fear. I was in panic mode, man. Yeah. And, you lightened up, something that was so treacherous for me. And that's why it's such a pleasure to have you on, because you're such an enlightening person to deliver such a, incredible message, and you have such a precious way of delivering this message that resonates with me personally. And, man, I'm glad to have met you, glad to know you, and to have you on here, man. It's just, beyond words of what I can say, even meeting you personally, talking to you and hearing from you firsthand, and I hope that we can continue this, in further shows too, man.
Well, thank you very much. And listen, it's because I watch before that. First off, thank you very much. Those are so kind. I don't know. No one's ever said anything like that to me before. Thank you. I will never forget that. It all comes from just watching everybody else. Like I said, when I say we're cut from the same cloth, it's because we're all watching each other. Now you're going to be able to take what I've been saying and run with it and talk to other people about that. I got this, what I'm saying, through other people. I had to learn this from other people not too long ago. So I'm still a student. You're a student. We need teachers. We need brilliant people ahead of us. And we need to listen more as well. But thank you very much for that. Jesus. But like I said,
listen, bro, you pulled me out of my shell, and you got me to a point where I can vocalize what I'm thinking. And I appreciate that more than you ever know, man.
Well, thank you, and hey, just keep searching because you're gonna find it. Like everybody, keep searching. Look, you're gonna see it.
We were looking forward to this. We were looking forward to this, you coming on the show for quite some time. We weren't really sure if it was going to happen because we had tried several times before, wanted to get you on, and we're just thrilled. We're just thrilled.
Well, I apologize.
You're one of the few. You're one of the few that we like. We like all of your videos. We like all of them. They're all good. Yeah. They're all good.
There's not one that we do not like say, oh, by the way, on episode like 33, it was horrible. No. No, dude.
They're all good.
What were you thinking?
Thank you very much. And I'm trying to be so careful with the things I say and I present them. But I will say this, I've made lots of mistakes. Made so many mistakes on the way, but I've learned. But thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No problem.
I'll be there to torment you a little bit more along the way, but in the interim, man, you make it fun, you make it enjoyable, and it's a learning experience. And I'm glad that you're out here as a spokesperson, to deliver this insightful message, to all of us, because you on this channel alone, you have an enormous amount of people that are listening and watching and will watch. That really adore everything that you say, man, and that coming from my heart as well. It's truly inspiring.
Like Troy, when people are looking, they say, "Well, where can I go and look to see what are some good videos?" We always say, "Lone Eagle."
Yeah, Lone Eagle. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. That is so awesome, man. That is
you take the fear. You take the fear out of something, so frightful. Right. I guess in that sense.
Yeah, and man, that is so awesome, man. Thank you so much for that. I was not prepared for that.
Well, there you go.
Red. Thank you guys. Is your show done or something? You guys done?
No, we go on for hours.
We're going for hours.
We're waiting for you to sing your waiting for you to sing your native song, in farewell. Go ahead.
We actually run the show from Friday to Friday.
We figured you'd have this lined up.
We're ready to go. Right.
Yeah. We were just giving you a break.
Okay, Lon, you can go. You can play your flute now.
Hold on. Let me see. I don't have my flute ready, dude.
This is an homage to
my flute is clogged.
You guys like that flute?
Guys,
just break out the peace pipe.
How about
that's a good option. That's a good option. Pass the peace pipe.
You know what? I should probably peace out though from here though. That's probably my outro right there. But,
there you go, brother.
Pretty late here.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk on the outside. Hey, thank you, brother.
Brian did put the link in the comments for people to follow and like and subscribe.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for hosting, man. Brian, you're doing a good job. Just keep everything up. Keep your head up. Approach the Mandela with love. Like, I know we all got fear. Let's learn to ditch that. Here's another thing. Try and ditch some of the music you might be listening to. It's very bad for you. Entertainment. Ditch one by one. I got a video coming out on that anyway. But anyway,
I love it,
guys. Good.
Yourself. I love you. Love your neighbor. Lone Eagle. Peace.
Peace out, brother.
Thank you, Lone. Good night.
Thanks. We'll see you, man. Awesome. What do you guys think of that music? Pretty cool, huh?
Love it. Wow. That was a good show, guys. Yeah, that's a wrap. Hey, guys, I'm gonna split out as well. Hey, guys, thank you so much, Brian. It's a pleasure as always, and everyone in the chat. I love y'all, and just what Lone said. Don't live your life, in fear. Live it with peace and love. Love your neighbor. You got to go with that. So. That being said, I love you all. I'm going to split out. Ty, Seeker, Brian, Teresa, thank you so much for letting me, join you guys. And, it's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it. You have really awesome videos.
Yep.
I do. I have none. I have 0 videos. I think I have one. Me freaking out over the missile thing. That's pretty much it. But otherwise, hey, I'll be joining you guys next week. I'm going to see if I can drum up some special guests. Who knows what's going to happen, but it may be a very, very special guest.
Thank you, Troy. Appreciate you, man.
Leaving us, Troy?
I'm going to leave you guys. Hey, love you all. Hey, take care, y'all.
We're going to probably
take care, Troy.
Great.
Good night, Troy.
Bye.
Good night,
Good night,
Troy.
Troy.
I have one.
Usually cut out of here about 12:30 or 1, sometimes 2 in the morning.
I know. Ryan, I got one for you. I got a Mandela effect for you. The
What
8
is
wonders
that?
of the world. The 8 wonders of the world. You know what they are, right?
No, what is it?
Well, I don't know.
Colossus?
Anyway, the Colossus. Well, they all existed at one point, and they were okay. But all of a sudden, the other day, I heard they asked the robot Sophia about the 8 wonders of the world, and she starts reading them off and saying they were destroyed.
What?
One at a time. Yeah, she read them off and said like 6 or 7 of them were destroyed.
No, there are
What's
ancient wonders of the world of ancient days.
Yeah,
and then there's
8
modern.
wonders of the world.
Was she talking about the ancient, Sophia,
I don't
or
know.
was she talking about the modern?
8 wonders of the world, she said.
And no, ancient.
What are the
ancient.
8 wonders of the world?
8 great wonders of the world.
Andre
Yes.
Giant's one of them. I know that.
That's what she said.
Ancient. Ancient wonders
Yeah.
of the world. There are
Yeah.
there are 7 wonders of the world. They're ancient, and I think there is an 8th wonder of the world that everyone lays claim to
She
all
said-
over the world.
Well, she
But-
said that a bunch of them were destroyed. Most of them were destroyed.
Do you remember an example of one? Anyone?
Yes. Zeus.
Yes, that's
The
ancient.
statue of Zeus.
That's ancient.
The statue of what is it called? The one that straddled the harbor.
Yes, that's ancient too. That's ancient as
Okay,
well.
that was destroyed.
Yes.
Then there was another one. No, there's another one. I don't know. She was
They're
reading them off
pretty-
too quickly.
Yes. But those are the ancient wonders of the world, and she is correct. That's why we have the modern wonders of the world now, because the ancient ones were destroyed. But the most fabled one is the Zeus one, I believe. Mount Olympus, I believe it was. Was that the one? And fabled. It's a fabled one. They don't know where
Well,
it is.
no, this
Is
one,
that
this
correct?
one, he was a statue. It was a statue.
No, I know about the statue one, but the one that they don't know that is fabled, that they can't put their finger on,
Atlantis?
I believe is Mount Olympus. No, Mount Olympus.
Oh,
There was
Olympus.
an actual place. There's an actual place that was Mount Olympus that they
I
can't
heard.
find.
Well, I heard that one of them was actually under the ocean.
Atlantis.
Yes, Atlantis. Yes, that could have. That's again, they're fabled, but I don't know.
No, actually,
There's
I was
another-
talking about. I was talking about the palace of Zeus or something. Supposedly, it was under the ocean. In Greece, near Greece somewhere.
Okay.
Well, I think that's funny. It's underwater because Poseidon was the god of water.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
maybe it was Poseidon. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Well, you got to remember that all these gods of ancient times, or we call them, fabled or whatever, they were taken as very serious religions back then. Of course.
Oh yeah,
Very much
obviously.
so.
But
Yeah, very much
but
so.
but I just recalled the Sophia saying that destroyed. I was like, what?
Right. Yeah. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, 7 out of
The
8 or
pyramids,
something.
Yes. In fact, Taekwondo in the chat. Where do the pyramids fall under? The pyramids are one of the wonders of the world as well. Of course,
Yeah.
they are one of the ones that are ancient and are modern. They are included in both lists.
What about the 3 new pyramids in front of the other ones?
Yeah, right. What about those? Right. Welcome to the Mandela effect.
And why is the Great Pyramid and the other pyramid the same size now?
Right. I know.
Wait, I never realized that. Are they the same size now?
Yes. They are.
Yeah, they're the same size now.
Hang on, I
Yes.
can look that up.
And the relative distance of the city behind it, I believe, Is
Yeah.
Is it right? Yeah, that's not the way it was. Yeah.
And it was lined up directly for Orion, right?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Initially.
That's what I remember. I mean, I was not a big student of it, but that's what
Me either. I just remember these facts. You know.
Yeah, that picture on the far, right? See that picture on the far?
Yeah.
You got it there too, Brian. You got it.
See
right
those
there.
three.
That's not right. That's not right.
No.
Okay, so-
see those little. See those little.
There's
See the
three
little pyramids in front of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't there.
Yeah, no, our detractors would
They
say
didn't exist. They didn't exist.
Our detractors would say, well, that's just like the dark side of the moon. You never looked on the other side.
No.
No, I don't think
No.
so. No.
Furthermore, how
see that city behind it? See that city behind it to the right, Brian?
Yeah.
See how you can see that? You could never see anything. There was nothing around. There's nothing there. It was just like, what is that movie, Scorpion King or whatever it is?
Yeah, it was all in the middle of a desert.
Yeah, all nowhere, right? Which
And
is why
this pyramid on the left and the pyramid on the right were not the same size.
No, that's why one is called the Great Pyramid, and that's what the Great Pyramid was. The Great Pyramid. It was much.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm pretty sure you guys know.
I'm noticing something too. Didn't they call it the unfinished pyramid? Wasn't there like a missing piece here at the top, the missing capstone? Wasn't there?
Well, no. The original capstone of the Great Pyramid was gold. They actually had a gold top.
It was tic-tac-toe 3 in a row, tic-tac-toe 3 in a row, and they were not like this.
No.
That's the idea. Not like that.
Yeah. No. These three in the front, these three little pyramids didn't exist.
Right.
And the Great Pyramid was way bigger than the other two.
Much bigger.
Hence it was called Great.
Great. Right.
There's 3 little ones, right? I thought there were 10 all.
Yeah. No, there's 3 little ones in the front that didn't exist.
Right.
Right. And
now you got to remember, these 3 little ones are not 3 little ones in reality. They're just 3 little ones in the picture.
Yeah.
These things are massive.
Not 3. They're big.
They're massive.
They're just not compared to the other ones.
What is the relation of the Great Pyramid to the stories of a building? Does anyone know?
Yeah, I heard. Now this is what I heard. Don't quote me. I heard that it was part of a power system. Initially.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's right. I heard that too.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's a conductor of energy.
A conductor of energy, right?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And I further heard that there were other pyramids around the world that actually connected to that one.
Right, Mayans. The Mayans.
Yeah. And furthermore, the Sphinx and the Great Pyramid were much older than they say they are.
They say, correct.
They say they're like 12,000 years old or more.
Tic-tac-toe 3 in a row. 1, 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3. Tic-tac-toe.
See how the two are the same size?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they weren't the same size. They weren't the same size. No, they weren't.
And you can tell that they're massive because you can see what's by them.
The Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid was much bigger.
Yes,
Great Pyramid was much bigger. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And the one on the right is much smaller now.
Yep.
And those 3 lined up as the Orion's constellation.
Orion's belt. Yeah.
The belt. Yeah.
Well, let's look at that real quick.
But
Hold on.
Maybe now they point to the Sagittarius arm.
Yeah. They probably do, actually.
You know what this Mandela effect reminds me of, guys? It's like looking at Highlights magazine, the back of a Highlights magazine, and picking out all the wrong things.
Oh, you mean when
like Where's Waldo? Yeah.
I was thinking it looked more like Mad. You know, Mad magazine where you used to have to fold the back one. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. You have to fold it in order to make it fit.
Right.
Well, maybe
kind of like that. Now there you go. Look, they're not lined up. They're not lined up.
They're not lined up. Nope,
they're not.
Nope.
No.
You never had a view like that before. Never. Those things.
Never ever.
Never. Never ever ever. They're going the wrong way. They're going the wrong way. Are they not?
furthermore, we're in Orion's spur. So if we're in Orion's spur, and that means we're much closer to Orion than we were in Sagittarius Arm, obviously.
Now, if this is true, we're all from the Sagittarius Arm, which I believe that we are, at least in the present company that we're in. That means every time we look at the night sky, our heart skips a beat because we know something's wrong.
Well, look at it. But look at it.
But we know instinctively.
Well, you know what you write in there?
What should I type in?
Pyramids alignment. Pyramids alignment to Orion's Orion.
Yeah, superior alignment. Yeah, and then Orion. Just put Orion. No, forget about that. Just put Orion. There it is.
Orion.
Yep, we're good. Just like that.
There's a correlation theory.
Let's see the correlation theory.
Correlation between the location of the 3 largest pyramids of Giza.
That's exactly what they are. The pyramids of Giza.
No, that's not right. No,
that's not right. No. That's not right at all.
That's not right at all.
You know what it points to?
Nope.
The 11 and the 6. Look at it.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
6.
Tell me about the 11 and the 6. I don't understand the 11 and the 6.
All right. If you
on a clock,
this image and rotate it, this is the 6 o'clock position, and let's say the 12 o'clock is over here. Now it's sitting at the 11 o'clock position and the 6 position.
On a clock.
Yes, as if this were a clock.
Yeah, they're not not totally
First of all, the pyramid on the far left was not the same size as the middle pyramid, obviously, and they were not aligned. They were not aligned like that. They were actually aligned differently. They were aligned in a straight line.
In a straight line.
Straight line.
And it was not like that because this is not a straight line.
Harold is right. Harold is exactly right. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. In a row. Straight line.
Notice the one on the far right. It's not aligned with the other 2.
Correct. No. And they were in perfect alignment. You can set a clock.
Furthermore,
perfect. Or not.
Furthermore, Ty was correct when he said the city was not near the pyramids.
Right. You couldn't see it. Not even close.
No.
Right. Which is why they were like, how did they get the bricks there? If the city's right there, maybe you could truck them in. But there was no city there. There was no roads there. There's nothing there.
There was nothing there.
Right.
They had to bring the bricks from somewhere and then, across the desert. What is that, Cairo?
It is Cairo.
Yeah. Did they expand somehow? Maybe they expanded the city.
Oh, yeah, that's not our forte, though. That's not our forte at all.
No.
I mean, I don't know Egypt.
I don't either.
I just don't know Egypt.
I don't either. But I know that the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx are much older by thousands and thousands of years. They said that
all the changes in the headgear and everything, but the pharaohs and everything, that's all changed. We know that already.
Right, but they're saying that the Great Pyramid and because it was originally supposed to have been the resting place of Khufu, and they said that it existed way before that. Like 12,000 years is what they threw out there. That's the number they threw out.
The Great Pyramid in the chat says that it has 8 sides now, not 4. Look at the Great Pyramid. It has 8 sides and 4. That's true.
Right.
Yes.
And the Sphinx. The Sphinx was 12,000 years old. They said.
Yep. That's about right. That is about right.
And here's another thing. Just as a sideline, I just throw this out there. One of the pyramids there, I forget which one, has a melted steps, like the granite. Yeah, the granite coming into the pyramid was melted, and part of the wall was melted, and then re-solidified as if a nuclear blast happened there that actually melted the granite. Yeah, so that was the thing. They were saying that they thought that it was either a nuclear blast, or they thought that it was used as a generator for some massive amount of energy coming through
that would cover what Seekers just said about a power source. A power source. Yeah.
Right.
Because everything from using the Earth's own magnetism, the Earth's power, the Earth's core, etc., etc., etc. You know,
I've heard that. But then again, so did Tesla. Tesla said he wanted to use the Earth to transmit electricity wirelessly.
Yeah,
so he was able to do it, and if he was able to do it, then they were able to do it.
Well, yeah, because they were much smarter than people understand. The people, they were very. They knew the way that I try to describe to people is that they knew what we knew. Mathematics has always been mathematics. They can figure it out. They had smart people too, and I always say that we are poor excuses for our forefathers. They're much more studious. They have much more. They can think a lot deeper than we ever could. Whereas we have so much distraction now. Where we are just poor excuses for people compared to that. We don't just too many conveniences. I mean, let's face it, if we lost our water or electricity for a day or internet, we would be in trouble. We'd be in trouble if we can't find our keys. We're in trouble.
Yeah, right.
Right? Oh my gosh, where's my keys? We don't know what to do. But,
wait a minute, that's exactly how they made fun of us in the in that newscast they did. What was it, on Fox or CBS or something?
Well, I didn't like the show you had on there, the X-Files.
Yeah.
They made fun of everybody, in the X-Files.
I think that's the only way they could have done it, to be fair. I think it's the only way they could have done it, to give a nod to us to say that it actually exists, because they can't agree with us. They can never agree with us. If they can agree with us, then it would just give rise to a, let's face it, it's a revolution.
Only imagine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because now you're talking about like Dr. Seuss's speeches, the ones with stars, the ones without stars, because those that see it, don't see, you better believe there is a difference. There is a difference. So I mean, none of us thinks we're gifted, but let's face it, if I can see something that you can't, believe me, they'd be calling me out. They'd be calling you out too. That's the problem.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a problem. So we're very cognizant of that. Very, very much aware. Very much aware. But speaking of MEs, any ideas with the MEs? I mean, obviously the 2 millions. Obviously there's all sorts of stuff going on. Huge things going on. And how is everybody doing? First off, we don't really get in a big group. It's hard to talk to see how we're all doing. How we all doing? Are we doing okay? Yeah. What's going on? Harold, Tom, how's everybody doing?
Oh, me? I've been writing continuously. I've been posting like an insane person. Because I'm leading up to setting up the channel on hopefully this month. Setting up my my once a week paranormal show. I've been doing a lot of study on paranormal topic, and the more that I'm studying, the more I'm realizing, man, I don't
tell people about your channel, because we know about it, but we know very little about it. Keep writing, talk about it, but we don't know anything about it.
Well, it's going to be called tentatively Paranormal Weekly, and it's going to be basically a scientific look at the paranormal. We're going to try to look at the paranormal from a scientific perspective and try to take away the Halloween-y boo factor, basically. And, kind of ask the questions that sometimes people don't want to ask, like, what is a ghost? What is a demon? What is, are the gray aliens actually demons? Are they demon-possessed? Are they just people from another reality? What are they?
So you view it that you've gone as far as you can go within the forums, basically.
So far, I've been writing some pretty deep stuff. I've been doing a lot of research, and the more I'm researching, the more I'm realizing that this desperately needs to be done, because I've joined a lot of different like paranormal forums, and it's like Halloween every day in those forums.
Right. All the paranormal forums are like that. They get like that.
They're like like the boo factor, you know. What do you see? Do you see a ghost? Do you see this?
Right,
do you see that?
The paranormal factor, I'm telling you, I have to agree with you, Harold, because the paranormal ones, the trouble with them is that everything's a ghost, everything's a demon, everything's scary, everything's over, everything's dead.
Yeah.
But when you go on the Mandela effect, everything's a Mandela effect. Everything is. Everything's bad.
Yeah. But you got to have a, but you have to have a rational perspective.
Yes,
a rational perspective, you know, and look at it from a rational point of view, you know. All right, is this what it is? Like, all right, I'll give you a perfect for instance. I asked the question, what is a demon? And I started studying it from that perspective, and the closest I could come to it, to understanding what it is I think, now this is just me, my opinion, it means nothing, but I think that what a demon is the spirit of the Nephilim, the fallen, the children of the fallen angels, right? But they're fallen angels and human women, and because they were cursed, just like their father, they were cursed to stay on the earth, and so they're not fallen angels because fallen angels have bodies.
Well, I got a question though.
They got tossed down.
Well, the obvious question
they got tossed down.
The ones that since man's hearts were only evil continually, and God commanded Noah to build an ark because he was going to flood the earth because it never rained before that. No one knew what rain was, so Noah was especially crazy because there was no rain. And then when it started raining, flooded out the entire earth. The windows of heaven were open, and everybody died. That includes those Nephilim that you were talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Killed everybody. So where did they come from if they were all killed?
All right, here, let me explain. I'll explain that. The Nephilim, because it does say that the sons of God and the daughters of men, okay, and it does talk about the Nephilim, okay, and
it doesn't say Nephilim,
I'm thinking
that's what it is. That is what it is.
But I'm thinking that these demons were the Nephilim that got killed, basically, I guess, in the flood, and they were stuck on Earth. They were cursed because of their fallen, parent, basically, and so they weren't allowed to go, anywhere else. So they're stuck on this plane, and so they basically joined with their parents, more or less. And that explains why they're constantly trying to possess a body, because they can't. They weren't allowed to,
Oh, I understand what you're saying. What you're postulating is simply that the Nephilim have become the demons of the earth. The devils of the earth. Basically, you guys understand that in the King James Bible, there is no such thing as a demon. They're all called devils.
No. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say to you is, that I asked the question. I started out postulating the question, what is it? Okay.
What is it? Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Then I had to look at it and say, well, is it a fallen angel? Well, no, because fallen angels have bodies. They actually fell. They were tossed to the earth, basically, to this plane. So they have bodies, and they have bodies. So, but they still have bodies. They were angels. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or archangels or whatever.
Hold on, just following along the same path. Remember, the angels, in Hebrews, it's in the book of Hebrews, it says the angels who left their first estate. So the angels had a first estate. What was their first estate?
Heaven.
What heaven?
Celestial heaven.
Well, remember the book of John. John. It's for the kingdom of heavens. For the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah. I know.
Violence. The violence taken by force. Right.
Yeah.
Suffer violence, and the violence taken by force. What heaven is he talking about in the book of John?
I don't know.
Well, it's
go ahead. Enlighten me.
The kingdom of heaven. You're standing on it. You're standing on the kingdom of heaven. Okay. This is their. This is a type. This is considered the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of God is celestial. So when it says the angels left their first estate, where did they leave from? Where did they leave from? So remember when Adam and Eve were told, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. There is a doctrine out there that says that you're standing on what used to be the angels' first estate. This is their old home, and they're mad because they lost their home to us. We are now, that's a doctrine. That's a very old doctrine. But this is the second. There's going to be three heavens because God works in threes: Old Testament, New Testament, and the Testament to come. You see, three, all threes. And we have the first earth that was destroyed, the earth that we're on now, which would be considered the second earth. And this present day heavens and earth is reserved for fire. And there'll be a third earth, the new heavens and the new earth. So you want, again, working in threes. So there we go. Yeah. So the first estate, so the Nephilim that you claim to be here, which could be completely plausible, they didn't have to be left over by Noah's flood. This is just where they go because they got nowhere else to go. This is where they go. Does that make sense? Cursed. Yes.
Well, they were cursed.
They were cursed.
They were cursed.
They're cursed because they fell. They fell. A third of heaven fell. Of course.
Yeah.
So they were cursed.
Yeah, but
I allow what you say just by saying that they consider this their home and they hate us.
Yeah.
They hate us.
Well, they hate us. They hate us. That's about they hate us. You know.
Yeah, and we're made.
But we know that.
Well, because they hate us because we're made a little less than the angels. That's why.
Yeah.
A little less.
The fallen angels. The fallen angels also hate us.
Oh, they hate us too. Yeah, they hate us because we, of course, we're beloved of God. That's what.
And of course, Lucifer hates us.
I want to
yeah.
We got Eman's in the chat. He would
Hey, where is he?
I'm gonna get him in.
Get him in here. Get him in here.
All right. And I'm sorry I haven't been paying too much attention to the audience. Tony is here with us. Tony,
why are you not paying attention?
Why are you not paying to that?
Why are you not paying attention?
Mikey, what's up, Mikey? Yeah, let me get E-Man in here. Go ahead, you guys keep talking.
Yes.
I'm gonna get him.
Okay, all right. So anyway, yeah, that was what my conclusion was, that these demons were actually the Nephilim, and as far as I could tell, I mean, you know, I looked at all the possible scenarios, and that's the one that came, you know, sounded right. Do I know if it's? But then again, without data, what is it? Speculation. Yeah.
Hearsay.
Yeah. Hearsay and speculation. I have no idea. I'm just throwing it out there. That's my opinion. You know, but I would rather at least come up with a rational opinion than you know,
at least nothing
at all. Yeah,
because
at least
with nothing at all. I hear what you're saying, and I think what you're saying is simply that when you have nothing at all, you're just going willy-nilly with anything. Might as well just throw 7-Eleven, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and Scooby-Doo, and see what we got.
Right.
Because that's what people do. That's exactly.
There he is. Hey, welcome. Hey, man. How are you?
E-Man, I have a question for you. First of all, hello. How are you? We were trying. Very well. Brian and I were thinking of you the other day, and we were asking around, does anybody have E-Man's number? And I said, I don't think so. I don't think anyone has his number. I don't think anyone can get a hold of him. Do you mind giving? Can you mind? Can you mind giving Brian some contact information if we have to get a hold of you?
Yeah. I give it to Brian.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Tom, actually, I think my message. See, what's happening is they messing with our electronics, and so I'm having to reset my phone more than usual. I had to reset my phone like once a week, and sometimes I forget to re-download Hangout, and so that's why.
Hangouts is not the greatest. Hangouts is not the greatest.
But I give them a.
No.
I give them. Right. So I give him my regular number. I'll give it to you later, Brian.
And you know what else they did? And you know what else they did? They took Lone Eagle. He's in my group, and they periodically kick him out of the group.
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have to keep bringing him back into the group because periodically they just kick him out.
They trying to monitor us real.
I've seen that before. It does happen.
I think Brian said.
Yeah. They kicked him out twice now. And I had to bring him back.
I have an Apple computer, but I can't tell you how many times they keep rebooting my computer just to see if I get
it. Y'all hearing that delay?
Yeah, there's a delay.
What did you say, Eman? That there's a delay. Small delay.
But yeah, I was hearing y'all talk.
Oh, you mean from the chat? Here's the delay from the chat.
Still here because Teresa had a supernatural experience or paranormal experience.
When?
She tells me about this shell that was sitting on her shelf and it flew off.
Yeah.
Hit the door. So
yeah.
It freaked her out, I think.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had something happen to that like that in the church. The last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The clock that was sitting behind me just fell on my head. And 'cause
3 times?
I'm a musician. No, it fell on me once, but the other 2 times it just fell off the floor because I moved my seat.
Yeah.
And then recently, I noticed that when we sitting in church in Bible study, the clock the time be right. As soon as we start service, by the time we end service, the clock be an hour behind.
Huh. That's weird. Wow. You know what happened to me? My daughter's room. My daughter uses Christmas lights in her room, and she unplugs them. And she's been sleeping downstairs with her mother, so she hasn't been sleeping in her room. Every day it's dark in her room, and every night the Christmas lights are plugged in, but she doesn't plug them in. So one night she took the lights off the wall and left them laying outside the door. And when we came back, they were on the wall and plugged in again. Yeah. So some weird stuff. Weird stuff happening,
But I heard y'all was talking about the fallen angels and how they.
Yeah.
But if you really wanted the Bible, see, a lot of people don't realize that I take concept clues with everything I read. I don't just listen to people, the pastors them been feeding us. But I remember, see, if y'all look in Genesis where God said, let us make man in our image.
Right.
That was a creation that was started already.
Yeah.
And then he created men in his own image. So that's another creation he made. And then he made Adam and Eve. So it was three sets of people, 2 sets of people way before Adam and Eve and it was even made. And see, that's what people don't realize. And when we say these different dimensions, these dimensions been here before. God just took it away because that's where you get the angels sleeping with the sons of men.
Yeah.
And all of that because we was able to see angels and see the other dimension. But God had to cut it off. That's why he destroyed the earth the first time. Because he gave us too much processing power. And he had to cut that off. That's why the human brain we don't use but 10%. Because he had to cut the rest of it off.
Well, yeah, but when he did that, right?
Yeah, with Noah.
No. He did this at the time of the Tower of Babel.
Well,
During the Tower, when they built the Tower of Babel, they were trying to build it to heaven.
Yeah, they were one mind. It was one mind.
Yeah, so God basically destroyed it, and he scattered the people and their languages, so that nobody spoke the same language anymore.
Right. See, so that's why they say if people work together, we can get something done. But people don't work together. That's why we have all the division because we have more authority, and they have more power when we work together, and that's why I don't like these churches, because we done made the church a business. We done made it as long as my business be up and running, I don't care about your business. You know, I remember years ago they used to say it was a liquor store on every corner. Now you can't say that. It's a church on every corner, but they're not doing nothing.
No.
You got a church on every corner with 16 members.
Well, there's a church in the South. I don't know exactly where it is. It's a Baptist church. It has 60,000 members, and I think Joel Osteen is on the. He's on. It's a Baptist church, and apparently this Baptist church wants to unite with the Catholic Church and its doctrine, basically. And they're saying that this Baptist church, I don't know the name of it offhand. I just remember it because they said it had a octane thing over the what is it called, like a pointed star, a 6-pointed star over its altar, and they said it had there were several. Oh, it starts the services every day, every Sunday at 11:11.
Guys, we're gonna speaking of 11:11. Hey, we're gonna have Photohelix is jumping on here with us.
Oh, okay.
Right on.
Yeah, okay.
Let's give him a warm welcome. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Baptist church has 60,000 members, and apparently they start their services at 11:11 every Sunday. And they said that they, when you see them start the service, the words are upside down.
Yeah,
right side up and upside down, meaning as above, so below.
Right, I seen that. I seen a YouTube video of the church.
Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about. The YouTube video. Yeah. I just saw it not long ago. And,
I mean, but if you really well, a lot of people, the stuff that we encountering, it was always foretold. We just didn't really. I think the reason why it's so shocking to people, because we read it, but some of us, we didn't really believe it. We just read it in stories, and it sounded good. But when it's actually happening, now people don't want to believe that it's happening because they didn't believe it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it was just it was something like a scare tactic to make people want to go to church. But now we actually in the war. Now don't nobody want to fight.
Yeah, of course not. Because in order to fight, you got to be willing to lose something. You know, and they don't want to lose something.
Hey, Photohelix, welcome, brother.
Photo, how are you?
Who's that?
Hey, Mr. Photo.
Photohelix.
Hey, Photo.
Hey.
Who's that?
Welcome.
Salutations.
Yes. And so,
how are you?
Hey, that's the man now. Photo, the man.
Yeah.
Doing good. Yeah. How is everybody?
We're doing
all right.
Doing great, man.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a full room. Teresa Lynch is in the room.
Yes.
Hey, Photohelix.
Hey, girl.
Yeah.
Hey, MS man, my favorite of all. I'm telling you, E-man.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Welcome, Photo.
Harold, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Welcome.
How are you?
Let me mute this. There we go. I'm the one doing bleed over. Okay.
Oh, okay.
How is that, y'all? I apologize for making a ruckus. And Mr. Brian McFarland running the room.
Yes.
The man with the plan.
Hey, man, you know.
Wow, we're having all kinds of cool guests on tonight, guys.
I know.
It's like a full house.
Brian, why don't you introduce everybody to Photo?
Okay, Photohelix. We have Harold, Harold
me.
in the headset right there?
Yep. He knows me.
Yep.
Yes, I know Harold.
Corey, do you know Seeker of Truth?
Seeker of Truth, yes.
The lion head?
Yes, I know Seeker of Truth. I didn't realize it was the lion head.
Yeah. Well, that is.
And then now, okay, the leather jacket with the cool model-looking guy.
That's Ty.
I've talked to you before, Photo. We don't necessarily agree, but I still watch your stuff.
Well, bless your heart. That's cool. Hey, man, I am the kind of person I love to agree to disagree with people because you know it takes all kinds of us, right?
That's it.
Hi, Teresa. How are you, sweetheart? Am I allowed to call you sweetheart? That don't sound right, does it? I shouldn't say sweetheart because my wife might not appreciate that. Nah, she don't care. She wouldn't care.
Don't care.
I don't want to offend you. Teresa, you're a sweetie, though. You know you are.
What? What I was getting at was we have the word presidents in the Bible now. It's in
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I did a video about that. Ooh, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. MS Man made one. MSE Man.
Book of Daniel, right?
Hey, Photo.
I was seeing that, but EY did a video.
Sorry. Photo, I had to change that photo. I had to take the MS off. So they were like, "Why you got Miss there? You a man." So I took the MS off and just put the E-Man. I kept getting that question.
I've never looked at the name. I just called him E-Man from the beginning.
I always called it MS Man, and then it wasn't until later I realized it was Miss Man.
Miss Man.
Right.
I just called it MS Man and MSE Man.
Right.
Now it's E-Man, so that's all right.
I just made it simple.
Affected Man. What does the E stand for in that? If you're taking out the MS on it, now it's E-Man. Is that affected man?
Yeah, affected man.
See, no, what it is, my name is Emmanuel. I just said E-Man.
Emmanuel, brother, I'm going to tell you, there ain't a better name to have. You know that.
God among us.
For Gabriel sent his angel and spoke to the mother, Mary. Said, "Thou shalt call his name Emmanuel, for he shall save his people from their sins."
Right. There you are.
And Photohelix, help us out here, brother. Was it Emmanuel or Emmanuel? With the I or with the E?
It was an E, and I know.
I believe it was an E.
Now in the Bible, it's got an I. And the Bible's got an I.
What now?
What?
It's got an I in the Bible now.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
It ain't Emmanuel, it's Immanuel now?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was Emmanuel. It was Emmanuel.
It was E-M, that's right, man.
Absolutely.
And now it's I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, Brian, let me ask you a question, because I probably could ask questions to everybody on the panel if we take time enough. I don't know how long you've been running or how long you want to go.
We run Friday to Friday.
Yeah.
12:45, or about maybe 1 o'clock tops.
1 o'clock, you want to stop?
No, it depends how low we're going, because we just keep going. It just
we're gonna have to. It's 12:30 my time.
12:30 my time too.
Yeah,
that's what it is. 11:30 my time.
12:30 my time.
But it's good. We're thrilled.
What time is it your time?
We're not looking at the time at this point.
Yeah, just relative about 30 more minutes, maybe.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, you asked me if I drop. Listen, brother, I just stopped in a chat room to say hi. I was looking in and listening in, and you'd asked me if I could drop in for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So did you have something you wanted me to ask me? Or
I wanted to ask you, Photohelix, how long have you been seeing the quantum changes in the Bible and other changes? How long have you been noticing them?
Well, the first time I had noticed, the first thing I guess I probably noticed, no kidding, just on my own out of the blue was Berenstain, okay? when I first made that video about the wine skins, that particular change.
I remember that one.
Right.
That one, that had over 500,000 hits. People have loaded it, downloaded it, copied, shared. It's just really ridiculous. But when I had seen that, I had been studying that particular scripture. Every time I opened my Bible for 3 weeks now, folks, every time, because I was an avid Bible reader, and I would open it up, and it kept falling to the wineskins. And I told my wife, I said, man, after about the 3rd week, going on the 3rd week, I said, God's trying to tell me something about the wineskins. Now, it was a day once upon a time back in my life, I stood in a pulpit and preached out of that very Bible about those and how important they are. And did you know, man, on that 3rd week, I was looking in there, and it didn't say wineskins. My jaw hit the floor. I about fell over. I thought, okay, now this is what Alzheimer's feels like. And I thought, Lord, I've lost my mind. And so I went to her. She said, that's not right. And I said, you're telling me. So I started digging out my old Bibles. Then I started flipping out a little bit. I'm thinking, okay, all the other changes I had noticed previous and prior with labeling and different products and things like that, hadn't really thought much about it. Figured, hey, new age, we're new time, new labels, new stuff, you know, everything changing. Yeah, you just sort of write it off because I really hadn't focused that much. But boy, when it hit the scriptures, I was like, okay, now we know we're on a supernatural battleground. Something on a quantum level is taking place. And I would say, personally, when I go back and look, because there were certain things I had noticed, and I thought, well, maybe I have misremembered something, or maybe I had just looked at it the wrong way, or things like that. You sort of try and justify. But, man, there's certain ones that there ain't no justification for, and that was one of them. And when it hit me, I was, like, freaking out. You can see me in that video. I'm like, and I'll check the Lord's Prayer, and I started looking at different ones that I was real familiar with, like Matthew 7:1, you know, about judge not lest you be judged. I mean, everybody knew that one. Oh, no.
Yes,
and
yes.
That's crazy.
Exactly right. That's exactly right, Photohelix. You're exactly right. That's a huge one for me. That's where my that's the first one I saw, and it was all downhill from there. And the thing about that,
I think God woke everybody. I don't know when God woke you up on Photo, but it seemed like it was a really awakening around 2016.
Right.
Because that's when, you know, that's when God had me to get sick. He has a way to get your attention because I got sick, and he know that I'm a researcher. And when I got hoarse, I was hoarse for about a month. And I said, nah, I know this ain't natural. And that's how I bumped into the Mandela effect, because I knew that wasn't natural. And it was like 2016, maybe it was like June of 2016.
Right.
And that's when I ran across Photohelix video.
Right, me too, Photo. About that 7.1, when I delved into it just for a second, I'm not going to go long. It's going to be 15 seconds, okay? When I did the Matthew chapter 7 and judge not lest ye be judged, not only couldn't I get anybody to agree with me, but it seems that when I went to try to debunk it, because I was trying to be honest, let's try to debunk it, and I went to Matthew chapter 7, verse 1, judge not lest ye be judged. Not only had the verse changed, but they had a different history surrounding it. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1, or Matthew chapter 7, was the most often quoted verse in the Bible. That's all you would hear. That's the only Bible verse that people knew, next to John 3:16, was judge not lest ye be judged. Now
it's easy.
Now the new history is that it's the most often misquoted verse in the Bible.
Yeah.
And I said, no way. And as soon as I said no way, I couldn't get any of my friends, any of my Bible friends. These are pastors, these are preachers, these are missionaries. I couldn't get anybody to agree with me. Not one. Nobody.
But I think
not that anybody wanted, not So that's it. That's all I wanted to say, Fono.
I think some of them, their eyes are shut because they don't want to see. They rather hear the lie than the truth.
Well, let me make a comment. Go ahead. Aura One. Now y'all know if y'all have caught me over on Scarabperformance channel where we do some of the call-ins there, and I'm on a panel.
We know Dan.
Yeah,
we know Dan.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Brian drops in over there, and Lisa, she was carrying a wrench over the other day. I was just y'all know me. I'm one for looking at the chat room.
I got a wrench.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a wrench. That's what I said. You had a wrench the other morning. We was over. Anyway, Aura One.
So cool.
The foresight of 3. So I'm probably saying that name right. It says, "No, I don't agree that it's just a spiritual battle. I've seen much out here that suggests otherwise. It's something far more profound occurring." I'd like to chime in on that comment since they're in the chat room, and I would say that it is far more profound, but I'm going to tell you, if you understand the concepts of spiritual battle, you can't get a whole lot more profound than that. It is a test of the heart, for sure. It's a test of the soul, a test of the desires. We're seeing things in the physical manifestation taking place. We're seeing things in the spiritual manifestations, lots more of those we're seeing take place, evil and righteous alike. And so, depending on which side of the fence one seems to be on this day and age, whether you're seeing or not, those that can't see the changes, folks, are already blind to such a point of anger and issue. Boy, they'd just soon slap you upside the head as to talk to you, which I find interesting. But to say a spiritual battle is to encompass all things, not just to say, hey, it's a physical battle. If it's physical, we can go out here with some guns and some bayonets or knives and thump on somebody. We can pull up our military background. I know how to disable a human being pretty easy. Sure. Not a bad thing to do. Well, I won't say it's a good thing to do. I'm just saying in a physical battle. But on the supernatural side, your guns and your knives and all of those things are foolishness. They ain't going to take something out. You got to be planted solid, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Amen.
And so this encompasses mind, soul, body, all of it. And that's why I refer to it as a spiritual battle, because in the ultimate end, it's a battle for your soul. That's a fact. And this whole change thing we're seeing, I'm not so hung up on it at this moment. All of these things were prophesied. What gets me now is that everybody is being distracted by these things. Whether I think it's more of a wake-up call. You can't even sit down to your morning cereal without saying, hey, wait, that ain't right. Something's wrong with my reality. People getting in their cars and gears and things on it are different than what they remember, and logos are different than what they remember, and everything you look at is different. And so the people that read their Bible and's got the scriptures on their heart, well, they know, hey, that's a wake-up call from a prophetic standpoint. And the people that are just driving to work every day, people that work on cars, they know the differences with the different logos and things. I mean, almost everybody uses Febreze at one point or another, and well, doggone, we see now as 2 E's is gone. It's just 1 E. People are even now so confused. They don't know what was and what wasn't. And just a few misspellings somewhere. And everybody thought, oh, that's Mandela effect. And we're so confused as a nation. We don't even remember now ourselves. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy.
But I want to bring up one big topic that we go through all the time, because this is primarily a spiritual chat. Everybody here is Christian. Everybody is. This is primarily a spiritual channel, but we do get secular every now and again because we talk too much about Fruit Loops, and but it does come up.
That's so funny.
One of the things that we see is that we get people that they argue about Bible stuff, and a lot of the MEs that they bring up, a lot of the changes are not changes,
right?
They're because they never read their Bible to begin with. They argue, they say that's never been that way. Let's say it's stuff, the stuff in the Bible that's never been there. Well, I say yes, it has. well, they say unicorns. It's never been in the Bible. And I say, well, sure it has. And they go, no, it hasn't. So, yeah, of course it was. For me, and then I got to say, in my memory, it's been there. But in your memory, I got you have to just allow it because I don't want to argue with them. How, in your opinion, how can we diffuse something like that? Because we don't want to separate people.
Well,
and
that's the greatest point right there, brother. You're making such a wonderful point. Here's what I would love to be able to get together and have, as it were, a gathering of sorts of minds. That's one of the reasons I do that show over there with the After Hours Club with Dan, just to try and, because to bring different individuals in that are experiencing this. Scripture says that in the last days, I will, God speaking, or referencing God speaking there, says, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Now, that is something that's important to remember, because we also know that in the end days, there's going to be a famine, not for food and water, but for the hearing of the word. Right. Now, also, let me say this, too, because so many Christians who are experiencing this are having a hard time grasping the concept that there's something changed as they remember, because they say, well, that's the word of God. It's infallible. I'm going to tell you now, folks, it's ink on paper. If the Berenstain Bears can change, matter can change all around you. This world's passing away quicker than you think. Yeah. God said all the islands are going to be moved out of their places. And so when we start seeing these geographical changes and everybody's like, well, that's impossible. It's like, really? Are we putting God in a box? Come on. And so he says these things that we are going to see and witness as a timing for those who know the scriptures and the prophecies to be on the lookout and know what is coming next. I put out a video about retrocausality, the concept of waves, that we're seeing things increasing in intensity and frequency as we move forward in our lives and into the future. How long do we have? I hope we have forever, but I don't know that I got tonight. You know what I'm saying?
We talk about retrocausality all the time.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, folks. Everybody gets so sidetracked. Remember, Lucifer is the author of confusion. Very important. Very important. God is allowing us to see something. If you got just one change, I don't care what it is. Maybe it's the Lord's Prayer. Maybe it's Fruit Loops. Who knows? Whatever it is that changed for you, that you know in your heart and your mind beyond a shadow of a doubt, something changed. Man, it could be something as simple as a photograph that you took. You just know it's you, and nobody else has to know it, okay? But when it comes to some of these changes where everybody seems to see the same thing, that automatically tells you, okay, you benefit of the doubt to back you, if you will. And there's residual everywhere. So there's some interesting points to it. But instead of everybody coming together like they should to say, okay, I got the one trigger for me, and that's all I need. I know something's happening. Instead of that, everybody wants to get on and debate what was this way, it was that way. It ain't no different than the hypocritical churches that are out there begging for your dollar bill now. It's ridiculous. What we need to do is come together as one community and say, hey, look, we know that reality is being altered in one form or another. And therefore, if we are claiming to be the children of God, then we should come together one with another, working together, praying one for another, lifting one another. We're directed in Scripture to even pray for our enemies and to pray for our leaders, pray for those who spitefully use us. We know in this community there are many that do just that. The fact is if you see the changes, regardless of your background, regardless of your religious beliefs, regardless of all of these things, what did John see when he was in the book of Revelation over there in the chapter 7? He said, I saw a number that no man could number of every kindred and tongue and nation. And the angel said, who are these? And he said to the angel, well, surely thou knowest. He says, yes, these are they who came out of great tribulation. The point being here, folks, is that we better quit nitpicking and picking at this and picking at that. And we better get our heads out of the sand as well as wherever else we might have them stuck. And I'm trying to be very kind about that, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
And when he comes... we need to come together. If you see one thing and you remember it one way and I remember it another and we disagree on it, well, that doesn't mean either one of us is wrong in this state of the game. At this point in time, I remember the curly dash in Coca-Cola. Some people don't remember.
Everyone have a great Mandela Effect 9. God bless, okay?
All right, God bless.
I love you, Photo, and Brian, I'm sorry.
Love you, Photo. I love you. All right.
I love all y'all.
I love you, Photo, and I love you, Ty.
Yeah, I love you too, Ty.
Yeah. All right. I love you. I love Ty too. I love you
guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Photo.
Thank you, Photo.
Yeah. Thank you, Photo.
Thanks for asking me to drop in. I love you guys. Ty,
All right.
keep me in your prayers, buddy, and I'll keep you in mind too. Okay, buddy?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
All right.